help the city are written in those files about us. And then
Sure would be.
And kind of frowns.
Sure would be convenient.
I'm taking notes because I don't know you guys. What are your guys' names? I'm sure it's in the files I'm reading, so I'm not going to ask you directly.
Oh, I'm the wizard Zamiel. Zamiel.
And then who else is in here?
I'm the bounty hunter, Garrett Morrison Wild.
I love that.
Trying to find Percy's miniature. I can't get to it. I want to see it.
I can ping it.
There we go. Hello. Oh, yay, Percy.
Yeah, and you'll have Phelan, Shadow Dancer. I go by Cable or Steph.
Okay, gotta ask, are you an actual Shadow Dancer?
Pretty close.
Okay. Shadow Dancers were awesome.
Not so much a rogue, more
okay.
More the warlocky.
It sounds awesome to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're both capable of great damage, I'm sure, though.
All right, so what's happening?
So at the moment, to kind of break it down for everybody, I'll do this in groups as best I can.
Okay.
Phelan is like by himself. He's imprisoned on his own. He's been brought in on his own, and he's in a cell just kind of chilling. And you do have Phelan's name in your stack of people, Percy, but not in the room that you're currently in. He's not amongst that list of people that's in that room, but he is on your list of people to talk to in council. And you do have also then Solitude, Singurin, and Bluey, of course, the legendary, all together, who've just kind of like cracked into the prison, and they're basically where we left off in RP, if you refer back to RP. So they're like chilling with Bluey, just broken the door. He just barred the doors behind them, and he's like, bling, idea. We're in a prison. We just lost a bunch of our crew. We're not making it out of here alive against those chimeras unless we do something about it. You know, we've got to, get some help. And the help's here. And he looks amongst the prisoners and starts to think, maybe there's some recruits here. So from your perspective, Bluey's kind of shared this information that, maybe we can look around. And that would, I guess, be like where the conversation spark would be for that little group of people. And then for GMW, it was Garrett Morrison Wild. You guys are going to get used to me calling him GMW because that's my nickname for Garrett Morrison Wild. And
much faster for everyone that way.
I just love GMW too. It sounds like BMW. It's very cool. And then you've got Zamiel as well, who are known to each other. They also have a fellow companion who's relatively reputable throughout, I would say, Corvair, the greater Corvair, which is the continent you guys are on in Eberron. And he is the prince of, once was Sire, now is basically the Wastelands, the Moorlands, and his name is Orgev. And he is been imprisoned basically with these guys. You guys know why you've been in prison, you know why you've been jailed, so I'll kind of let you guys roll through that on your own. But they're stuck together, and they were brought in together, which is why they're kind of, imprisoned together.
And that was what we were doing, right? Coming here was to rescue Prince Orgev, right?
Yep, basically. Yep.
Okay, all right.
You guys have some insight to that as well. Like, why is he here? What is he doing here? he's been imprisoned basically for being accused of being a traitor to Sharn, being a traitor to the King of Sharn specifically, after being given sovereignhood, sovereign. I don't know how to
Sovereignty.
There you go.
Sovereignty.
That's the one.
Sovereignty.
There we go. See,
I
I
do that
am
in my head all the
definitely
time.
not a genius. So, sovereignty is what he has been given, and it's been quickly yanked away from him, as a matter of fact. Even the people that have been given refuge and Sire have been given the boot from Sharn. There's really like a terrible travesty going on. What was once being formed, and was actually really formed by the party, by their actions, the actions they took, helped to build this bond between Breland and Sire, or more importantly, the King of Sharn and Prince Orgev, to where it was starting to look like Breland was going to help Sire a little bit, like their once enemy and someone they once warred with. And those kind of things are starting to occur more regularly after the great peace treaty that occurred. But this is a big setback. This is terrible. Orgev's been jailed. The Chancellor has accused him of this treason. It's kind of a weird happenstance of events. You guys don't know much outside of that. You come here with the intent of freeing your friend Orgev, getting some answers, getting to the bottom of things. Unfortunately, it had quite a cost, and some party members were lost.
Okay.
Well, if I know one, I'll pour one out for them later.
I've poured out
I was
several
gonna
for
ask
all of
you,
them already, I promise you.
Do the prisoners know that Orgev is a prisoner too?
The prisoners. Which prisoners?
Like the ones who are me and Garrett and
Yes.
Phelan.
You guys were imprisoned together. Phelan has no knowledge of you guys being in the prison. He doesn't really have any knowledge of you guys. So I think you guys' connection or link will probably be Percy.
Gotcha.
But that's basically the schematics on how we start here for session 1, and where everybody's at, and what everybody's doing. I'm sorry that I've placed you so roughly in the world. Sometimes I feel like Zeus in Clash of the Titans playing with those little miniatures, like, I will put you here, watch you this. Alright, let's see though. I think, yeah, we're good on stream. Stream is live. I'll slowly get the names of other characters loaded onto the overlay, and for those of you that want to check it out later, you can check it out on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll throw that in the chat. Because I don't know if everybody has it.
And apparently I did not take many notes. I
Were you
have.
expecting to find a freaking novel back there?
I really was. I was looking like my I was expecting the other section to be far more voluminous. It is not.
Luminous.
Voluminous. Voluminous. Another fun word.
I like it.
Voluminous.
Maybe the notes. Maybe I did. Yeah, I wrote notes, and that's what I was the note taker. Dang it! And
yeah, no, notes are all in like the notes channel.
The notes are in the notes section. Yeah, that's what's going on here.
Notes
Okay.
in the Discord channel.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that, but
yeah, I do now. I remembered that now.
Ridiculous amount of solitude notes in the notes channel. You were the best note taker of all time, if you had to ask me.
Oh, thank you.
You're
It was a
note
little harder to
master, by the
control.
way.
You really were.
Forever.
You really were. You did a good job.
It's just a job.
Very good job.
Oh, I
The
think we have
note
Belsay's
czar.
Check it out. Look, if you look at the notes, you can see Belsay's last words, apparently.
Oh, shit.
Do Chimera
Holy
breathe
shit.
fire and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
His last words were the notes.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Do Chimera breathe fire and stuff?
That's a solid GAN response. Oh, yeah. That's a thing. All right, well,
Solid last words.
without further ado, I promise I'll work on the intro and the overlay, get it a little cleaned up, get everybody's names and faces on there so everybody knows who you are.
Who's
on
the
stream.
Baron? Who's the Baron that we're trying to free? I got Orgev. Remember him? Who's the Baron
No
and the Baron?
No Baron, just the Prince.
Okay.
Yep. The Baron, I think, is Baron, the name of the king, Baron Irwinarn, the king of Sharn.
Oh,
Baron,
okay.
Baron Irwinarn, king of Sharn. Yeah, so it's no one
Okay.
thought about that before they did
Nice.
that. I don't think. But yeah, he is the guy. He's the guy that's kind of currently at squabbles with Orgev, and he's being advised by this rather creepy fellow named the Chancellor, is what we're gonna call him for now, because I can't remember.
Yes,
his first name.
yes.
But
Absolutely right.
not important for right now, anyway. But he's definitely a creep. You guys have had some dealings with him. This party had, I mean, Solitude and Bluey probably ran into him at least once in their lifetimes. I know Solitude met him in the first session. Probably didn't meet him, but passed by him. So
Ooh.
you got some knowledge of who the Chancellor was. If you remember, Sally, that was like that weird dude that you tried to tail right away. And then you guys ended up not tailing him because he like noticed you were tailing him, and he like turned around and was like, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
Yeah, that was the Chancellor.
Nothing.
Nothing.
You weren't doing anything.
Just your coat's really cool. I like it. It's cool. All right, so yeah, so I think we can get started with, you know, whoever. Why don't we do this? I'm gonna pick a representative from each one of these groups and then make you guys roll the dice against each other. All right, Percy, Solitude, and Phelan. We are gonna have each of you roll a d20. Whoever rolls highest is gonna go first, and then we'll go down in that order.
I'm just rolling on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, you can roll on D&D Beyond, or if you prefer the Avre way, you can exclamation R space D20 if you feel like being R2D2.
I rolled a 16 on D&D Beyond.
Cool. So we got a 16.
Yeah, if you ever got to do manual rolls, Avre is actually really good for that.
Yes.
Yeah, the command for the rolls is just exclamation R, and it's pretty intuitive. Space D whatever, like D8, D4, D20. You can add stuff to it with a plus symbol. You just got to remember there's a space between.
Yeah, if you want multiple different dice in a single roll, yeah.
Yep.
All right, are we rolling a d20? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir. And I see Phelan rolled a 10. Very nice. You failed you passed your death save.
Barely.
Yeah, just barely, right?
Oh no.
Yeah, okay, Johnny boy, you're going. You and Bluey and our friend Singurin will be last in the order of what's going on. So we'll just kind of take that as like our narrative initiative order. So like, I don't feel bad that
That's
I'm gonna
pretty good.
start with,
I like that.
with someone else here. But Percy, we'll kind of start out with your group over there, the Prisoner Club. Is that what we're gonna call it?
Prisoner Club.
Yeah, Prisoner Club.
I love it.
Turek's just still like nervously like looking around
The
the
hard
room.
knocks, yeah.
Do I know Turek's name?
Yep.
Okay.
He's introduced himself. He might not know you yet though.
Sure. Guard, are we... What's happening?
Nothing to worry about. Just a couple of problems outside the walls, it seems. The tides have risen lately, and sometimes sea creatures come up near the walls. It's not a problem, really, I promise.
Okay.
He looks
I mean,
around.
it sounds a little concerning.
He said, like, now he's kind of like chewing at his nails. I really don't think you should be concerned too much. It's not a problem. I'll tell you what. I'll have a look out the door. And he, takes 2 steps to his right. And kind of like, this is like some sort of a huge accomplishment that he's making. He peeks his head around the corner, looking out the barred doors, and you can't really hear anything inside the prison. You can hear a couple of clinks and clanks from prisoners moving their chains around or knocking cups against their walls to pass the time, but no one is really talking outside of the walls, and there's no shouts, there's no signs of a fight, and the last boom thudded about, we'll say about 10 to 15 minutes ago on the outer walls of the building.
It's a very bless his little heart. Okay.
Does there seem to be any problems?
Okay, I mean, I've only been here, a little bit. I'll trust you on that. You know your prison well. Which one of you said something about saving the city earlier?
Oh, me. We did not, clearly we did not succeed in stopping the Chancellor and capturing him, though. He did escape, and, we decided to, focus our efforts on helping the city rather than chasing the Chancellor.
Okay.
For
And-
just a little background there.
Are you playing Zamiel or Garrett?
Oh, I'm playing Zamiel.
Okay, perfect. Zamiel, is it?
Yeah.
Would you like me to address you as Zamiel?
Out of character, my name's Dan. But-
Yeah.
Either way is fine.
Oh, sorry. That was in character.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Gotta pitch my voice even higher for a gnome.
I like it.
Zamiel? Is that how you'd like me to address you? Not very...
Zamiel simply nods and kind of shrugs.
Uh-huh.
Seemingly unconcerned.
You said you were trying to save the city. Do you want to tell me more about that? She has like a notebook in her hand and is like
kinda
ready to
looks
take
over at
notes.
Garrett, and then looks back at you.
Speak up,
Says,
folk,
well-
says Turek, like kind of interrupting you in the middle of what you're saying. Gives a look of approval over to Percy.
Oh no. Oh, what were you saying, Samuel?
Well, I was saying we gave our best effort, but in the end, the one who was behind all of the troubles, the one who was in power, the Chancellor, he got away, and clearly things did not end well because of that. I feel partly responsible. I think we all do, but still, we made our best effort and saved many lives that day.
You ended up in prison. You were trying to save the city by ousting the Chancellor?
That is correct.
How would that save the city?
Well, the Chancellor was basically part of a evil organization that simply used his position of political power to their own ends. We tried to take him out of the equation, off of the board, before he could play his fateful move, but we were too late, and in the end, he accomplished what he was meant to.
Which is what exactly?
Causing chaos in Sharn and helping consolidate power for the cult of Dol Zarak. I forget what.
A for effort. I give it 100%.
Zamiel blasts the pronunciation badly on that one.
You did fine. Dual Zurak.
Okay, I was close.
99.9.
Sir Wild? Is that how you'd like to be addressed?
You can just call me Garrett.
Garrett it is. Do you feel the same as Zamiel? You guys are in this together, yes?
We were. He's got a fancier way of putting it than I would, but everything he says is more or less how it happened.
Why didn't you guys go to some sort of other authority. I mean, did you have anything incriminating against the Chancellor?
It's a good question, guys. It's a good question.
I'm having a hard time recalling at the moment. I'll get back to you on that, but I believe at that point we had him kind of backed into a corner, and he resorted to measures that we didn't expect. He hid behind the citizenry and turned the guard against the good people, and basically took the most possible advantage of his position as Chancellor to cause as much chaos as possible before we were able to stop him, and then simply fled after he did so.
So, in a way, you sort of succeeded if he fled, right?
Samuel sort of sighs and says, I told myself that for a while, but I've since changed my mind on the matter.
I wouldn't exactly consider it a success since we're sitting in prison and he got away.
True, that's fair. What do you think is going to happen now? Like, has he done what he needs to? Has he done the horrible things you were trying to stop? And is he done? Or do you think something else is going to happen with the Chancellor?
Oh, he's far from done.
I mean, do you want to talk about this cult and the things he was involved in, the things you were trying to stop?
I've spent months trying not to think about those things because I don't know what to do about those things.
Okay, so if everything had gone according to your plan, what do you think you would have prevented? Just the loss of lives? You've mentioned saving lives.
Well, the cult had a very, like I said, the cult had a very ambitious goal of bringing their god's avatar onto the continent of Corvair for God knows what reasons. We could never truly figure out why, but all we truly could tell was that they were 100% dedicated to this goal, and almost nothing was going to stop them.
How do you know they weren't?
Anytime we came upon them, they were always 10 steps ahead and had basically already finished any necessary steps in there, and we were simply chasing their tail.
How do you know they weren't just religious fanatics? With, like, really no... that there were really no threat. How do you know that they were a threat to people?
Aren't all religious fanatics a threat? Says Prince Orgev and chuckles.
Some of them are a little out there, but they don't really hurt people.
Well, I was only there for the several plots where they attempted to infiltrate the city of Sharn and kidnap various citizens, but this was before they had the Chancellor to simply allow them to do whatever they wanted.
This is no mere religious following or group. They are indeed a cult. They are indeed evil, and they do indeed intend to bring evil to Sharn. There is ways and means of opening gates, rifts in this world. Pathways from one point to another. They have learned these magics, studied them deeply, and I believe they plan to open a rift from the demon wastes directly underneath Jean into the bowels there, and let it rise up like a great and mighty river, consuming the whole city.
That is... And Zamiel pauses for a moment and looks down at the cobblestones and then looks back up. Something I hadn't considered.
Percy looks kind of uncomfortable for a few moments.
So does Zamiel.
Added context that might be in your file, Zamiel and GMW are sort of like accessories to the crime that Orgev has essentially been committed of. So while they have information on it, Orgev may have, some more pertinent information, or may have the information that you're questioning Zamiel about, based on what it reads in your files. But I would start with the soft spot. Zamiel's just got those precious, tender eyes.
So Orgev believes, I'm doing notes here, that the cult was planning to unleash Dulzrak from the demon waste rift below Sharn. Did I have that right?
That plan's awful, but Zamiel thinks it tracks. Because that's basically what he was trying to explain, that the cult's all about these overarching grand plans, and that at every turn they always seem to succeed, regardless of our efforts.
Right.
Which is why we don't feel, we might be heroes, but we certainly don't feel like it.
Percy's definitely not convinced you're heroes. I mean, you're in prison.
No. I didn't say that in character either. I just...
Yeah, for sure.
Percy, when you hear this, kind of weird telling of tales from this, as you aptly put, prisoner, roll a history check on basically some of the weird things he's talking about. See if anything jives in your memory.
Roll hard. Got this.
Roll high.
Nat 20, 25.
You have kind of a recollection of something that, tracks with what he's saying. A manifest zone. Something you read about before. Let me do this real quick. Get you some information on manifest zones. But to give you a description, there's certain locations in the world that are like soft. Okay? They share a connection with one of the 13 planes that orbit Eberron within the astral sea. And within a manifest zone, the area takes on properties of that plane. So basically, it's somewhere that can take you to somewhere else, or somewhere that can take you that looks like somewhere else. Certain ones are, just illusions in that regard. Others are actual doorways to another place within perhaps this plane, perhaps another. It's tough to say. They're not exactly elevator-like science to where you press a button and get to a destination you're hoping to get to. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. They are chaotic in their fashion and operation. And thus, only the bravest and craziest of adventurers will try and adventure through them.
Interesting. Percy is going to thank Samuel and Garrett, because it seems like you guys have been being really honest. But I think with that information, Percy kind of wants to do some research before questioning them further on that sort of manifestation zone and what it means for Sharn.
Perfect. In that case, we can sort of flip over to our friend Phelan here, who is, fortunately enough, not too far away, I don't think, from our other party. Phelan, the cell you sit in is solitary and rather dismal, as a matter of fact. There's a single small caged fire that burns. It looks like a gas spigot keeps the flame burning, and it's not quite as big as it probably looks there in Hero Forge. It's more like the size of a candle, and that is supposed to heat your room because it's the only heat source in the room. There's no bed, there's no pillow, there's nothing of those sorts of amenities. Just a small wooden plank that's about 4 foot in length, not even long enough to be considered a bed for you to lay on.
Oh man,
keep the
that's
rats
rough.
off you. And
That sounds all right. Phelan's used to being in meditation pose or in a disciplinary kneeling position, so he just kind of makes himself as comfortable as possible.
all my prisoner friends are most grieved to find that none of their glorious items that they've selected prior to joining the campaign or coming into Discord today, we'll say, are on their person, unfortunately. You do have your clothing, which they haven't put you in any kind of prisoner's clothes. You still have your common clothes. And for that matter, it is rather boring in the cell. The most interesting thing that's happened to you in the last, hour or 2 hours, at least today, has been all the noise and commotion that's gone on in the last couple of hours. A couple loud kabooms that sounded like cannonballs hitting the walls on really various different sides of the buildings. It's kind of tough to understand what's going on. But the guards did say something about tide rising and that being the source of noise. More and more guards started kind of evacuating out of the prison and exiting to see what was going on or to lend aid to whatever was, causing a commotion outside. None of them coming back to report on what was going on. So that's basically what you've observed from your small little prison cell. And what you just observed or just heard is like a kaboom, like the front door opening, and then someone thudding like a large piece of wood over the blockade, presumably. At least, when you sit in a prison cell for hours, you start to listen for things. And these are the noises that you've become accustomed to, the front gate opening for a guard change. And that was the front gate closing. And you hear the sound of several footsteps down the hallway. And unless you have any questions for me, I could probably just skip right over to our menage a trois here of Louis, Solitude, and Singurin. And I had to say menage a trois.
Maybe more of a technical question. I don't know if it's really going to matter right now or in the future. More on the fact that as a warlock, I'm able to keep my packed weapon in a pocket dimension, which would mean
this is true.
One of my weapons, because I do carry two, only one of them is my packed weapon, so it would have been confiscated, but would I retain the ability to summon said katana?
When you get into the cell, you feel like this kind of wave of energy come over your body. And I don't know if you've been in prison before, but if you have, you definitely recognize it as, well, you know what, let's do this. Let's have some fun. Let's see if you can recognize what this is. Number one, have you been in prison before? Has your character been in prison?
No, this would be his first time, I guess, being majorly accused of something.
I know this is my first time playing with your character, but it's probably weird for me to ask you if you've been to prison before. I'm sure, but I gotta know. All right, so this is your first timer. You're a newbie to the prison world. I would say you probably aren't gonna have much, contextual knowledge of what this is. Maybe you have some magical knowledge. Go ahead and roll Arcana.
Does it show up?
Yep, and that is a 13. All right. All right, you would sense that you suddenly don't feel that same power flowing through you that you feel right before you focus and cast a magical spell. I think you would, sense that absence in your body.
Something dampening the access to those magical energies.
Yeah, you can't put your finger exactly on what it is, but you feel it for sure, and I think you would sense that, hey, maybe it wouldn't work, or maybe you'd try.
I think that'd probably be something he'd be constantly trying to see if he could keep himself busy. Is trying to summon his blade. I'm kind of frustrated.
Yeah, as you focus and kind of meditate and sit within the cell, gathering your thoughts, I would say, you find yourself exactly that, frustrated at the fact that they seem to have, put some sort of anti-magic proofing up in this cell, and
Understandable.
yeah, I think your character, probably would start to get the feeling that if he, failed enough times, that there may be something stopping him, not something personally within him that was the cause of the problem.
Okay. That's it for my questions. So
cool.
I'm probably just gonna keep an ear and possible eye out. I guess I got a bit of a view on my right side here, but just kind of focusing on any and all noises that keep coming my way.
Yeah, they did give you a sweet view of the wall of the hallway. It's very kind of them, right? Some people don't even get a window, so they must like you. You're well behaved.
Yeah, I can smell the prison.
You can smell the prison, exactly. That could be a benefit, it could be a disadvantage. And in that case, we'll flip over to Bluey and Singurin and Solitude, who kind of just entered the prison. And without further ado, I'll let either Solitude or Singurin take it away from a narrative perspective. Unless you want Bluey to start rolling up here.
No, mon Dieu, they are all dead. The destruction, the carnage. What are we going to do?
We can't focus on that now. We can't focus on that now. The only thing we can do is escape. We have to put our feelings aside for now. Bluey.
Yes.
Do you remember where the cell was of the prisoner we were looking for?
Bluey seems to come out of the mild shock that he's in and focuses again. I believe I can take us there. And begins to walk forward.
Solitude's kind of freaked out still.
He gets up to a set of double doors, passing by the first door that you see on your left, which looks like some sort of a storage room. You can see through the first door there on the left that there's several crates and other barrels, chests, things like that stacked up. Perhaps prisoner storage, perhaps items from the prison guards. You're not really sure, but it does look locked up as well as locked with a chain. This set of double doors, however, is not locked with a chain, but it does appear to be locked with some sort of a bolt lock, some sort of key bolt action.
Did you think that anyone survived? I did not see anyone. Monsieur Rock was disintegrated by the firestorm.
I
know he did not make it.
Severed in half and cast into the sea.
Oh.
If Bluey could cry,
What
he'd be crying.
What are we going to do? I know that we came here to rescue the Prince Olga, but it seems all may be lost if the party is decimated as it seems to be.
I have been thinking
Solitude, we can't focus on that now.
And I tend to disagree with you, Solitude. I think I may have been incorrect in my original transcriptions of what was on the tablets. What I found there, underneath the mountains, I thought to be a sure sign. But
Wait, the prophecy draconic?
yes, the prophecy, you know, it is vague, and has been misread many times by men wiser than me and greater than me.
Well, where did the prophecy say that 3/4 of our party were going to be incinerated? I would like to know where that is in the prophecy.
Bluey looks down shamefully, without answers.
It's not your fault, Monsieur Bluey.
But it is my responsibility to find the 6, to find those that would stand against him.
Well, I am still here.
And for that I am
She kind
thankful,
of
Solid.
composes herself.
The others may be lost to us, but with this still in hand, there may be a way back to them. He holds up the chrono manipulator in his hand, showing both Singurin and Solitude, sort of to try and give them some sort of sense of relief that not all is lost.
Are you able to use that device still? I thought Honduras had the skills.
I do not know how to use it, but perhaps we can learn of its ways. There are other time wizards in these lands. Perhaps not as bright as Tiris, but we must try.
You know, Monsieur Bluey, I am beginning to think that my mother chose a very apt name for me. I am once again alone.
As long as I stand Solitude, you are not alone.
Let us find Prince Elgav and start thinking of how we are going to get out of here.
Without wasting any more time, Bluey just kicks right through the metal doors. You see the frame bend on one of them, and he takes a few steps inside. Well, well. Seems the prison's not empty after all.
I'm being bitten. Sorry.
Getting attacked by Benny right now.
Yeah, he's not really the toys. Yeah, he really cares more about my hand and the wire for the remote. I mean, not the remote, the microphone. But we're working. It's a struggle.
Bluey seems to become seemingly distracted from the task at hand, which is of course freeing Prince Orgav, obviously, and becomes interested with the prisoner behind the small windowed wall of the cell in front of him. Well, friend, how did you get yourself in here?
Gonna unmute myself. And who are you to ask?
No one important, but perhaps someone who can help you, if you tell me your tale.
Do you know this prisoner, Monsieur Bluey?
No, but he strikes me as an interesting fellow, and the look in his eye tells me he is not of an evil nature. You see Bluey's eye scanning, the retina lighting up blue and flashing, a small little beam wiping up and down. And he's looking in the direction of this very interesting looking character.
Solitude saunters over.
Do you guys want the short or the long version?
Bluey smiles and turns his head to look at Solitude. similar look of approval, just much cooler than the one that Turek made towards Percy.
I think that we are getting distracted from the mission, but Monsieur Bluey, it is your show.
Short version then, friend.
Let us just say that in pursuit of vengeance and justice, I crossed paths with a powerful criminal syndicate, and they framed me for a series of heinous crimes, casting shadows over my reputation. The authorities, misled by their deception, apprehended me and put me in here under the false accusations.
Solitude,
I stand.
have you not been also imprisoned for crimes falsely?
No, merci. I did what I was imprisoned for, unfortunately. It was a burglary gone wrong in my wilder years.
Bluey chuckles to himself at this response and turns back to Phelan. I'm sorry. Go on.
I now seek to clear my name and find out who had accused me.
Oui, what is this criminal syndicate that you ran afoul of, monsieur?
Okay, if you do not wish to uncover all the details of your story. Unless this information is, of course, pertinent to whether or not we release this fellow.
That's why I was asking.
Solitude. And turns back to Phelan and says, well, it would seem our friend Solitude like to know who you mix with.
I suspect it to be the Crimson Shroud. But I am still unsure of who.
Have I heard of the Crimson Shroud?
You have definitely heard of the Crimson Shroud. I'm not going to even make your roll for that.
Okay. With that information, would I be cool with this guy? Okay.
It kind of depends, to be honest. It's iffy, but it can be a yes or a no. So at this point, I would say vague. You don't know if you're cool with him or not. From Solitude's perspective, like, I might not like you. That's out there for sure. So, and Solitude said she may be 50-50.
Take some notes here. Organization. The Crimson Shroud. Okay.
And
what are you thinking, Mr. Bluey?
Sorry. I was going to say, anytime you guys feel like you need to stop to do that, you can always feel like put everybody on pause for a minute, take a note. There's a lot of lore that's going to get dumped, I feel like, in this session especially.
You are not considering, I know what you are thinking. I was about to say it would not be a good idea to free a prisoner, but we are, of course, on our way to free a prisoner. So it is perhaps that these people in this prison, they may not necessarily be ne'er-do-wells. They could, in fact, perhaps be the sort of individuals that are, how do you say, on our side, we?
They could serve as a distraction for us also. A prison break would help us escape.
Certainement. I like it. What you are thinking? Where do you find that little switch that unlocks all of the doors? Sounds very fun. She looks around.
Singur's gonna walk up to the cell. She's gonna say, I assume you've been watching the guards. Do each of the guards carry keys that could unlock your cell?
Perception roll, Phelan. Perception roll. Perception.
Yes. Let's go. Ability, perception.
From Phelan's time within the prison, he did see a few guards with key rings on their belts, but not all, unfortunately. Those that did carried spears and had pointy helmets and turquoise quilted vests.
Now. You do not need a key from the guards to release a prisoner when you have a solitude with you. Excusez-moi. And she will, where did she keep her thieves' tools? I forget. Probably in her boot. She reaches into her boot, and pulls out her thieves' tools, and will try to unlock the prison door.
Which is behind me.
You notice,
Yeah, that's just a wall.
The door's behind him. Peek around. That there's another door just on the outside. Looks like it leads to maybe a hallway that connects there. Bluey's kind of walked over in that direction. Solitude.
Oh,
I believe.
so this thing I'm standing in front of is not a locking door.
Just a giant air vent.
Oh, okay, all right.
For free prison smells.
Okay, saunters over here. Okay, this door right here, staying in front of me. Is that right again?
Yep. Bluey also says, "Look at the size of this place," as he leans over the railing. In my Gan voice, sorry. And this door you find is unlocked.
Okay.
You push it open, you see that there's another door just past it. This door looks like a gigantic, like maybe 800-pound steel door. Maybe it weighs about close to as much as Bluey. And there's another door in the corner, and seemingly like some sort of a burrow that wraps around. Can't really see that though. And as you look around, you see another door.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to unlock. Is this one locked right here? Is this like a escapey door?
Is definitely locked. Yeah.
Okay. All right. She's gonna try to pick this lock.
And you're pretty sure, just like commonsensically, yeah, that's a good one. You guys write that down. That you can unlock this door, and it will lead to your friend Phelan on the other side. As a matter of fact, Phelan's talking. You could probably hear him. It's this one.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a shot.
All right, go ahead and slide a hand, check that to see if you can unlock that door.
Before I do that, I will trace a rune in the air and give me le guidance.
Oh, le guidance.
Le guidance, oui. And then I shall roll the thieves' tools plus le guidance. Well, I will need le guidance. Maybe not. That plus le guidance. Okay, 20.
That's awesome. I love when le guidance gives limited guidance. And that is a 20, and you're gonna hear the lock unclick or click, and the door
C'est magnetic.
opens.
I still got it.
And Phelan is free.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Oh, mute again. Phelan will bow deeply, and as he stands up, he will look at Solitude, and and then he will say, "You have my thanks, and you have my blade."
Merci. Je m'appelle Solitude. At your service. It appears we have a prison break on our hands.
How
She
many?
says, a devilish look on her face. You are the first, but we are, how do you say, just getting started.
And these others, are they noble?
Je ne sais. But I trust Monsieur Bluey's instincts, and I have a feeling that the individuals in this prison are far more law-abiding than the individuals who are the incarcerators here.
Yes, Solitude, as Bluey says from behind you. Something tells me they are more upstanding than you. He smiles.
And I have a feeling they have a similar story to yours. It seems that this place might be a collection of the Chancellor's enemies.
That is very
All right, well.
much so a possibility. Security, would you like to see if you could kick this door down, like I did the first one? And he offers to give you assistance in doing so.
I wasn't built for physical attacks like you were, Bluey, but I'll give my best. What should I roll?
He sort of sizes you up after this comment. Even those the smallest of stature can surprise even their own selves. You can roll a strength check. So athletics, acrobatics, whatever you want to really do here is fine, I think. And, you know, think about how you would try and attack the door if you were going to attack the door. Bluey's going to give you his pointers, and you're going to do what you do, of course, but I guess that's the flexibility for the roll.
All right. Well, you know the tradition: roll, then describe.
Right.
Never over-describe, never pre-describe.
Okay, so she takes a step back, and she has a spear in her hand. She's gonna run like she's going to do like a javelin jump, but instead of jumping, she's gonna double, like drop kick the door.
Solitude shakes her head. That was so barbaric. Barbaric.
She flies through the air. You see the door blast off its frame, and in similar fashion, the metal bends on the frame itself, causing the door to just fly open, smashing against the wall, sort of clattering back a little bit, but then again hanging back towards the wall.
Oh, yet effective. I
As
stand
usual, Bluey,
corrected.
your wisdom knows no bounds. And yeah, she'll walk through. She doesn't know where she's going. She'll stay there.
This is kind of like Solitude's first real interaction, you know, with Gurren. What do you call your character's name?
Singurin.
Gurren. Okay. Oh shit!
The
Is
sin in
that a
front of
fucking
it.
chimera right there?
Yeah, you walk past the gates and you see that there's like a chimera just snarling at the gates, like trying to get in, and Louis says, "He does not look happy."
I remember Belly says the final words. Let us get the as we say in Faerun, let us get the fuck out of here.
Yes, I believe that is advisable.
Would you guys have seen a equipment storage locker?
Oh, and as you've left the room, Phelan, you sort of feel that feeling leave your body. You suddenly feel the magic begin to flow again through you. The Force is once again with you.
You'll see the shadows kind of cling to Phelan as he walks through the corridors, and the flames throwing shadows around. They seem to reach out and kind of cling to his body, and then he will kind of just reach forward, and his hand kind of disappears up to the elbow, and then as he retracts, a long, elegant blade and its sheath comes out, and he attaches it to his hip.
That is a useful trick, says Bluey, witnessing this.
It's much more useful than you know.
This room appears to be occupied. And as he comes to the door that Percy and Turek and GMW and Samuel and our friend Prince Orgev are currently in, Turek puts his finger to his mouth, gesturing towards the prisoners and Percy, mainly Percy, and shakes his head quietly as if to say, "Don't answer and stay put." From your position, you're like just visible. Maybe like your cape would be visible, Percy. So if you stay still as possible, they may think you're a coat rack of some kind, but if you don't wish to follow Turek's command, you're not compelled to do so in any way.
I'll stay still. Percy doesn't know what's going on. She assumes that this is something bad, that she should listen to the guard.
Protocol. I like it. Sticking to prots. And in that case, you're undetected by Bluey. He just he can see that there's candles lit, that the room looks occupied.
That's a new Percy trick.
Staying still.
Well, being like not hiding from Bluey, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Well, it's just the angle of the door, really. All he could really see would be like her coat hanging there. So like it could just be a coat hanging on a rack, to Bluey's perspective. And she's not moving. She's been told not to move. Bluey's obviously made himself heard and known at the front door.
Solitude's going to go for the lock on this one with Legidance.
Careful, Solitude. I think someone may be hiding inside. Bluey is detecting his eyes scanning the room for at least what he can see through the doors. Go ahead, roll sleight of hand with the Legidance.
How about I disguise self as a prison guard?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that too. You'd like be able to, from the description, match closely, I think, to what a prison guard looks like, and then like the dudes who are outside, where they look more like mercenaries. Like none of them had like prison guard outfits on, at least.
Okay.
But the prison guards have been described as wearing a turquoise quilted vest, pointy hats, spears. They've got leather belts, key ring on the belt, so you probably get pretty close. Oh,
hell yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah. You like that?
And con Legidance, that is a 31.
Con Legidance, the door is going to open with ease.
31.
I don't know if con is with in French, but I know it's with in Spanish. Or maybe do a little French
Yeah,
here.
con Legidance. Oh yeah, I do that. It is all very bastardized. Very bastardized.
Maybe some English thrown in there as well. We apologize to any French speakers, and we mean you no offense.
Yes, we do apologize to any actual French speakers on.
You guys are fine.
I will very confidently sashay into the room.
As you walk into the room, you see what looks like a prison guard trying to like play a mime, and he's completely frozen. His arm is like midair, he's holding his spear in a rather uncomfortable position. He also looks like his foot is partially up towards taking a step in a certain direction. And you also see a young gnome, and she's, dressed in fairly clean clothes. She doesn't look to be a prisoner of any sort. And there's also paperwork scattered across the desk nearby, and you see several prisoners also imprisoned in cells.
Jeez. I think that I am going to fail at maintaining my cover and go, Kelsey?
Guard? Can I help you? Is there a problem?
I'm fine. He puts his foot and spear down on the ground. You there, you're not supposed to be in here. You know. He says in his most official voice possible, puffing out his chest.
Is he talking to me, Bluey, both of us, all of us?
He's talking to
Okay.
you. You have just entered the room,
Okay.
Bluey, and I think Phelan came in after you guys too. Not sure.
She proposes herself. Official business. We are transferring this prisoner to the cell block over here. You may take your leave, monsieur. I say as a guard with a French accent.
You lot are the trouble that were outside, aren't you?
I am a humble prison guard. I do not know what you are talking about.
Strange-looking prisoner guard. I've never seen you working here before. And you, a Warforged? What is he? I mean you no harm, friend. Simply come to ask some questions of the people imprisoned here. And I won't crush your skull if you don't give us any problems. I do not have time to blither with idiots today, and will not choose to do so. Take your leave of this room, as my friend has asked. Without question, the guard scuttles out of the room, sliding past Sincurin and Phelan on his way out the door.
I will drop disguise self and resume solitude form.
Solitude, the floor is yours, Bluey says, and takes a seat on the bench in the corner.
Percy?
Percy just gets super wide-eyed for a second. Solitude?
Oui, it is me. What are you here? What a pleasant surprise after the carnage of today.
What are you doing here?
Come here and give me a hug. You are so sweet. It is so good to see you. And me not behind the bars for once, eh?
But you just impersonated a guard.
That is what I do.
Why are you here?
To get him out. And she points at Prince Orgev. Monsieur Orgev, we are here. It is your rescue party.
Solitude.
Oui?
Are you with these men?
Not necessarily. I am with Monsieur Bluey and this lovely individual with the fancy spear. We're doing a prison break. What are you doing here? Are you still doing your prison ministry?
In the theory, yes. You know, it's really not going so well, Solitude.
Look, it worked very well for me. Well, I suppose not. I didn't really truly get reformed in prison. As you can see, I'm still impersonating the prison guards, but that is neither here nor there. Do not go outside. There is a very nasty scene out there. We came to here and they got into a terrible fight with a number of chimera.
Chimera?
Most of my friends were slaughtered.
Bluey,
Wait.
get your ass up off that stool and come over and get me out of this cell, says Orgev. I am sorry, Orgev. We've suffered much to get here. He begins to walk slowly over to Orgev's cell and grabs both bars, two bars of the cell, and just rips the door off the frame.
I am sorry as well, Prince Orgev. Percy is an old friend of mine. I got caught up in the memories of my time in Sharn. She is a wonderful person. Whatever she has to say to you, you should listen to.
Percy's just like pinching the bridge of her nose.
Bluey laughs at the sight of Zamiel and GMW. I should have known you two would have been locked up with him.
Samuel has a very confused look on his face. He just says, I have no idea what's going on right now or who these clowns are, but I'm just going to accept my good fortune as it comes.
Well, I can assure you, Zamiel, they are friends, says Bluey, and begins to walk back to his place on the bench, sitting.
Wait a second, Monsieur Bluey. You cannot just recognize a random prisoner and get away with it without some questioning. Now, how is it that you know these individuals? Yet you do not know Percy?
I am not aware of Percy. It is nice to meet you. I am Bluey, he says, and offers a gigantic metal hand while he spasms out on the table.
You know this a tiefling?
Yes, I know Zamiel well, and the dusty-looking cowboy fellow over there. His name is Garrett Morrison Wild. They are warriors and fellow travelers. We are again well.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Solitude at your service. It is interesting to see a tiefling here. We are a bit rare in Eberron. Are you from here, or are you a traveler like myself?
Samuel gives you a very strange look. And he's never met a tiefling that looks like you or sounds like you.
This is roll perception real quick. This is gonna be easy DC too, but just do it.
Sorry, were you asking me to roll?
Yeah. Oh yes. Sorry. I'll be more specific. Okay. Roll perception, Zamiel. I'm gonna call you Corvus. I'm gonna call you Aaron. Definitely gonna call.
That's okay. That'll happen a few
Kragnar,
times.
So you just respond to whatever name I call you. Okay.
We'll know. We'll know who you mean.
I'm like the opposite of Kragnar, but
you've seen a lot of tieflings in your life. Plenty of tieflings, I should say. This is by far the most beautiful tiefling you've ever seen. And tieflings, per standards, usually are a little bit more brash and gruff-looking, more rugged, we'll say. And this one has very beautiful feminine qualities about her face, but however, all of the beauty of a tiefling still as well.
Yes, and I will give you the breakdown of what you see in front of you. A very alluring, tall, elegant, lavender-skinned tiefling. Her eyes are dark, and her lips are violet, almost black. Her irises are black as well. Horns are also pale purple and curve back around her ears. She has long, black, shimmering fingernails. Very sleek and supple black robes with a far more daring and plunging neckline than Warforged allowed me to create.
It doesn't. I was trying to mess with that yesterday. No neckline.
Yep. And she has 2 or 3 very fine gold chains three long gold necklaces that plunge down the neckline as well, and jet black leather boots. That's right. That she calls her sexy and stealthy stilettos. A white undersole and white heel, and black leather boots rising up to her knees. Very high heels too. And oh, that's right. And she's got a satchel. Oh, she's got a satchel. I forgot about the satchel. A sleek black leather messenger bag. That's what she carries her stuff in. And then in her left hand is a iron. Again, Hero Forge failed me here, but it's like a brazier. Is that how you say it? Brazier. An iron brazier with like blue swirling crystal orbs in it.
Yep.
And she's got a broom strapped to her back. There you go. That's what you see. Basically like the token, except way more daring neckline.
I shall save them for now.
I should make him roll. To see if he's
Zamiel doesn't
charmed.
have his gear, but he's he's a different kind of. He's like the opposite end of the tiefling spectrum. He's very abyssal looking.
Yes,
Very
yes.
dark skin, dark red, black horns, black hair, glowing red eyes. He's very. His genealogy clearly favors the infernal side.
Zamiel, make
She's
a
a-
wisdom
doesn't have his
saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
Okay. That was almost a 1.
That would have been hilarious.
Doing something a little different here. All right. Like I said, you find her to be probably, like I said, one of the most beautiful tiefling you've ever seen. Other than that, no, nothing else. That's it.
So how do you two know Monsieur Bluey? You are a strange character. She looks to GMW.
As I step out of my cell, you'll definitely hear my spurs clinking. I reach in my jacket, pull out a cigarette and a match, flick my thumb, light the match, light the cigarette with it, throw the match down, take in a big puff, and I blow my smoke directly at you.
That's his way of saying hello.
Oui, bonjour, monsieur. Je m'appelle Solitude. Welcome to our prison break. Percy, you're okay with this, right?
I don't have a choice, Solitude. There's like 6 of you.
GMW, how did you sneak tobacco in here?
You know I don't go anywhere.
Spellbook in.
Well, you know I don't go anywhere without my supply.
He looks at you and smiles, just like nodding his head, expecting this to be the case. Not really surprised that he snuck this into the jail somehow.
Zamiel's not surprised either.
Though while I was in there, I couldn't use any of my magic. So let me check something real quick. I kind of extend my hand, and in my hand materializes a 6-shot revolver. If you look close at it, down the side of the barrel is engraved the Queen of Hearts in gold filigree.
Damn.
Hell yeah. Have I seen a 6-shot revolver
Badass.
before?
No. Especially not
Badass.
one
Hey,
like that.
what witchcraft is this fiendish device that you carry? It's too small to be a club, but too... What does it do?
It is
What
a
is
boom
that?
cannon. I saw them in the wars, says Bluey, offering his novice description of what that is.
Boom cannon?
Yeah, something like that.
Never seen him
This-
do that with it before. Zamiel regards.
We were told not to stand in front of them, says Bluey.
Yeah, this is a design of my father's making. We call them pistols.
Bluey says this word out loud, sort of like putting it in his memory.
Well, that is interesting, I suppose.
Then boom cannon.
And I
She
open
looks
my
around.
hand and it disappears.
I must say, what we have here is what we would say in Faerun, quite the motley crew. And yes,
Well, that's
Percy,
an
I'm afraid
understatement.
that you are not getting away from me. I will keep you safe.
Okay. Percy's like packing the papers. So I can come with you? She's like looking specifically at Samuel and Garrett. Like she needs to come with those guys. Well, and is the prince here with us?
Yes, here. I'm here.
Yeah, she's like looking at those three. And then kind of like recognition as wait. Did they free any of the other prisoners that I have paperwork on?
You do have paperwork on this fellow Phelan, who you've yet to see, and yep.
So like her eyes kind of glance at Phelan, and like recognition kind of sweeps over her, but she's just packing all the papers in her bag.
Yeah, you don't have photos, obviously, of them, but you have awesome, sweet sketches.
Nice.
And this Phelan sketches look something like this, because I have to share these because they're just awesome. Let me drop these real quick for you, and thank you for sharing them with me. Phelan sketches look like something like this, and there's also
Nice.
some warning text in there that he can change into some pretty powerful shit apparently. And when he looks angry, he looks more like oh no, I posted the wrong one. Sorry.
That's
Bad
the
build up.
it's
Over
the
described.
weediest
Got me,
alpha
Brian. Let's see here. I got this.
Yeah,
one.
you gotta show the goods first, then you over describe.
That's right. Then you over describe. And the goods are here.
Oh.
Oh, damn. Badass.
And that's basically what you got on him in the file there.
He's very subdued right now.
Properly terrifying. I love it. So cool.
And with that, GMW sort of, or not, sorry, not GMW, Prince Orgev sort of rubs his wrists where he was manacled just a moment ago after Bluey releases him from the small shackles that had him chained to the wall inside of his cell. He steps outside, announcing his presence after Percy had asked, and pats Bluey on the shoulder. "It is good to see you, friend. I did not mean offense, and I apologize that you have sacrificed to come here to save my hide yet again. Who have you lost?" Bluey just looks down, not wanting to respond. Darius? Rock? Lyra? Where are they? He looks around in sudden realization of what's happened and sort of bows his head as well and puts his forehead against Bluey's. He has to tiptoe to do this, but he sort of gives him some comfort, letting him know that, you know, he's not alone. He's got a friend here with him, and they're gonna make things right.
Was that Orgev saying that?
Yep.
Okay.
And Bluey responds saying, "I still have this," and pulls out the chrono manipulator. And for those of you that have no fuck idea what a chrono manipulator is, I'm sure, you see this brilliant silver sphere. And it looks like the most valuable looking item you've ever seen, just from the look of it. If you looked at it, you'd be like, that must be an expensive item in a shop. But looking at it in a common setting like this, it stands out even more. And as Bluey holds it, even in his brilliant hands, it glimmers and gleams, and you see various lights that shine from different holes that it has in it.
Do we have a picture of it
Anyone
anywhere?
looking at Samuel would see that his.
Actually.
All right.
Nice, nice, nice.
So Zamiel looks at the object and then looks to Bluey, and his mouth is gaping at the moment, and he says, "By the gods, what is that contraption?"
This is a chrono manipulator. It was invented by a very powerful time wizard. She found a way of making time melt to her own will. I do not understand all of its magics, nor claim to know how to use it. But I know that it is good that it is in our possession, and not somewhere else.
Percy, for a second, just takes this really long, heavy sigh. Bluey, is it? Have you been in prison before?
I have, unfortunately, been imprisoned in my time.
Oh, have you? Okay, but first lesson, like, don't show that here, and maybe don't talk about it until, we're gone. If you, want to live.
That is
like
wise. That is wise.
Okay. Percy's just imagining some prison, like, some high value prisoner in this building, like, is going to hear about this somehow and just come and kill all of us for this item.
And
do you know about
she's
this?
not wrong to assume that. With stone walls, with, like, metal grates, and now the door's gone, by the way. I think you blew
That
it.
happened.
But, it's easy to kind of hear it in the hallways. Things echo. You guys can hear it down the hall. They can hear it down the hall. It's a very, very, very apt observation.
He is not wrong, Bluey.
I apologize for my indiscretion.
All right.
So,
we need to locate. I'm sure that your items and your equipment and weapons and so forth are being stored somewhere. We should locate that and get the fuck out, as we say in Pilgrim.
presumably in a different way than we came in.
Oui.
What's wrong with the way you came in?
It wasn't a pretty scene. She's going to turn around and go to... She's going to look at Percy and say, would you possibly know a way out of this place that wasn't meant for prisoners? Somewhere that the faculty would exit?
Do I? I feel like I would just know where the main entrance is for, like, visitors that's heavily guarded.
Yeah, you'd probably know how to get out. I'd say you'd probably know how to get out pretty easy. But other than that, I don't think you'd know, like, your way around the prison. Turek would, but he's long gone.
Look, I can't stop you guys from breaking out of this prison, but I'm not gonna lead you out.
What will you do then?
I mean, if somebody mentioned there's something happening outside, if people are wounded, I can help. I'm happy to, like, help resolve something crazy going on outside, but I am not really willing to help a bunch of imprisoned criminals.
So if a battle broke out, would you side with the guards?
I told you that these criminals have been imprisoned under false pretenses. He turns to Percy, asking this.
Oui. It is true. I can vouch for Prince Olgev. He is a man of character, remarkable, and is a leader of men. I believe that the Chancellor of Shan is a corrupt individual, and perhaps framed him or otherwise incarcerated him. And if these other individuals are associates of his, then they are as innocent as he.
These
You
other
must believe
two
me,
are
Percy.
ruffians, but they are of good repute as well. Bluey says, smiling.
That is what us ruffians are.
You all seem very sincere, and I think all of your hearts are in the right place. I mean, I'm not gonna fight with anybody, with the guards, with you. I will follow you out. Percy's just hoping that, like, if they do get out successfully, somehow she can, like, stick around with them and, like, maybe in the future report them to the authorities so they can be recaptured.
It's all just, and what
Yours
I am
got
going
that.
to do, what I
That
am going to do is just give Percy lots of the hugs, and she squats down and hugs Percy.
Thanks, Solitude. You
I
know,
missed you. You're so nice. So
How
nice
I-
to talk to you. How are you? How is your family?
love hugs. Solitude, this is not the time to catch up, I don't think.
All right, you're right. We need to get the. But you should trust me. I really do think that.
I feel like
I know. Wait.
I feel like we worked through a lot before Solitude. We got
Right.
pretty far. We developed,
Yes.
you know, an appropriate professional relationship.
Wait. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's enough for me to just, you know, take your word as you break people out of prison.
Well, I mean, yeah, just you know, perhaps give it some consideration.
You just see, like, Percy, like, there is something in her mind that, like, has talked to these people involved in, you know, Samuel and Garrett and the Prince, and she's talked to these people, and, like, something is kind of bothering her about the situation.
Yeah, something's percolating. Yeah, just let it percolate for a little bit. You know, I don't have to make a
She just-
decision right now. Can you guys
Like,
hear my dog?
nods tightly.
And what was that about the hugs? You do not like the hugs?
Oh, nope, love them. They're great.
Oh, okay,
You know?
okay. I was making. Because guess what? There's a lot more of those where that came from. I only have 2 spells I can cast, but I have lots of hug slots.
Wait. You use magic to hug people?
No, that was it. It was a joke. It was not a good joke.
Oh, okay.
Bluey walks out of the room and looks at the Chimera, looks utterly pissed off outside of the double doors, but for the time being blocked outside, and says, "It would appear we have nothing but time."
Gods and whatnot here. I would imagine we may have a conflict on our hands unless we get going. Or are we the only ones in the tower? I doubt that sincerely. Now, where would, if I was to store...
Percy, would you be so kind as to tell us where our confiscated effects might be?
And make you more dangerous? I'm still not really willing to help you.
Well, to be fair, I'm about as dangerous as I can get already.
Yeah, the same kind of goes for me as well. Not decreasing the danger level much.
The fact that you guys aren't just, like, threatening Percy to, like, get your stuff is actually making her trust you more.
Hey, you
Well,
notice
it
that
sounds
none
like
of them
something
have
terrible's going on, so we need to be prepared.
urged you towards action, even though you find yourself surrounded by what looks like several capable warriors.
You guys mentioned Chimera.
Chimeras, says Bluey, correcting you.
Plural. Percy looks like just about ready to faint. Does she know where their stuff is?
There could also be an angry demon outside. I summoned it during the conflict.
You don't know
I
if
do not
it's,
know what happens to it.
you don't know it's their stuff specifically, but you do know that some of the contents of prisoners' stuff is being held within those crates just to your right. There's like a chest and then
nice.
a large trunk as well. And they're not locked. They're just storage crates.
I feel like Percy would sigh and just step over to the crates and open them, like gesture with her hands, like take what you want, I guess.
Samuel will nod at Percy graciously and take his effects and equip them.
So be on the lookout not just for the chimera, but a infernal.
Well, this just keeps getting better and better. Multiple chimeras and demons.
Yeah, nobody said anything about chimeras.
And prisoners.
Although the demons, that's kind of why I'm in here.
Prisoners, if your items have left you, they've now rejoined your inventory.
How'd y'all even get in here?
Seems like they walked in, Garrett.
We came in the hard way.
We
And
we got to the tower as fish, as sharks specifically. Okay, well, phase 2 complete. Acquire equipment. What do you think now, Monsieur Bluey? And others?
I think perhaps not all is lost after all. We have our friend Orgev back. We have our friend Zamiel. New friends Zamiel and Garrett Morrison Wild, and our new friend Phelan. And it appears that Percy is slowly taking a liking to us. He nods towards the open crate.
Percy is one bad beach.
I can assure
Percy's
you,
just mumbling
Percy,
like, well, I don't want to die to a chimera.
I think that they are not the only ones that have been brought here and locked away under false pretenses. You yourself have been summoned here, have you not? The questions you ask, they strike me as interesting.
Are you talking to Percy?
Yes. Yep. Bluey's directly talking to Percy.
I was hired. I mean, I've been working in prisons for years.
She is very good.
I can tell
Very kind.
you are of an upstanding and honorable nature. This much is obvious. What I
Thank
think
you.
you may not be aware of is most of these prisoners are here and been put here by evil men. The very men that plot against the lands that we live in. And unfortunately the same men that control the powers that be. The things that change events on a massive scale. These men are those who fight against those forces. And I can tell you that I've spent time with each of them individually doing so. I believe you may have been sent here to question these men. By Shan government, I suspect. Or outsourced to do so. Am I incorrect in assuming so?
Percy's a very bad liar. Not incorrect. No.
Ask yourself this, Percy. Why would they send someone as polished and skilled and refined as you to a piss pot like this?
To be fair, his spots are kind of the only place that's ever wanted me.
Oh, Percy.
I mean, I'm good at what I do, but, like, small, and there's, bigger, more charismatic people that do the same thing. I kind of get stuck with this.
Percy.
That strikes me as surprising. but at any rate, this place does not often provide such amenities as counseling and therapeutic psychology. This is what I have assumed you offer. You are trying to help these men, no?
True? Yeah? Percy does look uncertain and, like, is looking around kind of questioningly, like, wait, why am I getting paid for this?
Solid dude just looks so proud, Percy.
May I pry so much as to ask why it is you were sent here? Specifically, why it is that you have these files of these men? Bluey, like, intuitively walks over to the desk and just starts scanning through your files. Like, there's really no way to stop Bluey. He's not fingering through your stuff or touching it or anything like that. He's literally just eyeing it, and Bluey eyeing it might as well be good as grabbing it, putting it right in front of his face.
I mean, Percy still doesn't know this guy, so she's gonna try to, like, pack what's left quicker and just be like, no?
You can see that he's obviously scanning it. That eye is working on your paperwork, and as you kind of pack it away, he notices that you're obviously onto him. He's not being subtle about it either, but he sort of stops doing this, looks away. Why is it that you have paperwork with my friend's name on it? I saw Garrett's name on that piece of paper, and he points to one of the pieces of paper.
Every prison has paperwork on their prisoners. That's standard.
Yes, I understand such, but do you have paperwork on all of the prisoners here?
Well, no. But I'm usually hired for, like, a specific... I guess that's not true. No, I don't.
Is it strange for you? Is this outside of your protocol, or do you normally treat all of the prisoners within a prison?
I am normally available for everyone.
The public, yes?
Yeah.
Bluey sort of like walking back and forth like Clarence Darrow at this point now comes to his
Great.
final conclusion. It seems as though you may have been led here for a very specific purpose and for a very specific audience. I believe you have been summoned here to collect information and nothing else. And I do not mean to accuse you of anything. I rather do believe that you are doing it without your knowledge.
He just looks thoughtful and really doesn't say anything. It might be true.
What's going on? What?
How much have you missed? There's a lot that's going on right now.
I got Bluey's case. I heard his presentation.
Oh. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
most
John, what do you
excited for
think?
you to hear that, John. As a, IRL,
Yeah.
what's your professional opinion of this case?
Well, it was solid.
All right.
So the theory is what now? He thinks that Percy was brought here to gather information for the bad guys?
He thinks
good
that Percy's been specifically brought here to gather information from a specific audience. He's starting to come to some conclusions. Bluey's not really sure what he's surmising yet, but he finds the markings on her paperwork relatively interesting, and it wasn't the names that caught his eye. What caught his eye was the markings of, like, the house or the place of employment, for instance, that our friend Percy comes from. So, like, company logos and stuff on letterheads. That's basically what's on Percy's documents. And Bluey recognizes it and recognizes that they'd have close association with Sharn government.
Okay. All right.
And
Percy, the Sharn government is I'm sure there are some good individuals there, but there are quite well substantiated rumors that The government of Shan is deeply involved with the Dark Sikhs. I got that right, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Does
Okay.
Percy know who the Dark Six are?
Pantheon of 6 evil gods. Yeah, it's basically like you probably wouldn't know a ton about them because reading about them and learning about them would mean like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start worshiping them. You know like enough to know like, I don't want to know more about them. But yeah, Pantheon of 6 evil gods. There's 12 good gods, 6 bad ones, and he's talking about the 6 bad ones.
Okay.
We and in the particular, the Dulezurok, also known as the Mockery. So, Percy, you have been hanging out with some naughty individuals, perhaps.
I don't hang out with the Sharn government, Solitude.
Do you know any Rakshasa?
Not
She
to my
laughed.
knowledge. Wait, do you?
That is. Oh, I have had numerous encounters with them. Yes, they are the. How would you say the leaders of the cult that is determined to bring back the mockery? They are quite powerful.
Yes, I recall having a similar encounter with a cult-allied Rakshasa.
I have to ask this question real quick, and if you do not know the answer to the question, it's completely fine, Brian, but just from my mechanical knowledge, is Singurin, like, basically, is her perspective, like, she's friend of Solitude, like, her position is friend of Solitude, because her memory is limited, right?
Yeah, she's literally like a day old, so she only knows to follow Solitude and follow Bluey, and that's pretty much all she knows.
Cool. All right, I just wanted to get that mechanic straight. Thank you, sir.
That is all you really need to know, is just to follow Solitude.
Be careful doing that, Bluey says to Singurin in the most serious tone.
I will teach you everything that you need to know.
I will unteach you that, says Singurin quietly, or says Bluey to Singurin quietly. Bluey and Solitude
have an
this love-hate relationship.
When he says Dark Six, like he'll scan the rest of the other. I know, was it Phelan who just said he had a run-in with him, or he was familiar with him? But the other two, she's gonna kind of scan and kind of gauge their reaction when he says that. Does GMW or Zamael, do they kind of recognize that name?
They would definitely recognize Dula Zurak just to bring their memories a little bit. Because their Warforged absence has been even longer than your guys. But yes, Dula Zurak for sure they would know is in the Pantheon of the Dark Six. I think they would have heard of the Dark Six in that regard. And they would have had dealings with Dula Zurak. As a matter of fact, they have seen Dula Zurak. So they can confirm that he's got physical presence here. And I think at this point, that's probably like pertinent information for you guys to share. So I'm sorry for talking so much. I'll stop doing.
Yeah, we told this info to Percy, but you don't have it. The rest of you don't have it yet, so.
Who didn't believe us?
You have seen the mockery, the Dula Zurak in the flesh, so to speak? How did you survive? What about the Lord of the Blades? Have you encountered him?
Not only have we encountered him, we fought him on several occasions.
Yeah.
On several
We did not
occasions.
engage the Mockery's avatar in battle, though.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
But you have battled the Lord of the Blades? Oh,
More than
Oh,
once,
gee.
yes.
we always saw fit to run. But it is good to know people who have engaged with him, because I believe that will be something that we shall have to do before this tale is told.
I was
Of our
not
last
exaggerating when I told you there were other worlds than these, and I had traveled many a road among them. says Bluey, nodding to his friends Zamiel and GMW.
One of our last
Blade's
engagements.
been a continuing problem.
Yes, one of our last engagements with him, we were able to rout his forces and cause him to retreat.
When did this happen?
Many months ago.
I'll just say.
Several months ago.
Oh, and Percy, so what? Who do you work for? In the we may be able to. I don't know, or perhaps Prince Orgav will know if your employer is, how do you say, on the up and up or not.
Who do I work for?
I do not want you to get entangled with the wrong crowd, Percy.
Does it sound like I work for not directly the government, but somebody else?
I would say because of how Sharn government works, you probably work for like either a house or you work for like a business that's sanctioned by a house. So like
Okay.
most businesses in like all of Corvair are sanctioned by one of the dragon marked houses. And if they're not, then they're just straight up owned by them. In which case, then they become an enclave, right? Basically, most enclaves they have their own laws, so they're like states, right? They govern the land that they rule the way they see fit. And in this sense, you would probably be working for House Lyrander, who is in charge of a lot of different things. They have dominion over air and water, so they may have just like reached out to the small little counseling business that you work for on like a third party whim and been like, look, we have need of your services, so you've been employed by House Lyrander to come and do this, and House Lyrander is definitely directly linked with the Sharn government. So there's the link in terms of who has actually employed her. Probably less important to know her small little company that she works for, and more important to know that the people who bidded the job was House Lyrander.
House Lyrander.
And I'll throw that in chat for solitude.
Very fun to say.
I feel like Percy would find some sort of like title sheet of all of her paperwork that doesn't have any sensitive information on it and like let Solitude look at it. She'll have like a seal on it.
I'll look it over. Pretend like I know what I'm doing.
And
yes, House Lyrander. Mm-hmm. Yes, no. They do have connections to government officials of Sharn, so they are
oh damn,
red flag.
Nice.
You can see that there's like tentacles coming out of this brilliant blue shield with bolts
so
of lightning
pretty
on all four sides. It's rather beautiful. And they're stamped like all over every one of Percy's papers. That's fun to say. Percy's papers. Say it 3 times.
Percy's papers. Just because they're involved in the government doesn't mean they're bad. Like, the politics is kind of corrupt in general, but doesn't mean,
Oui, d'accord. But watch your back. If you do decide to go back or have dealings with them, just know that they have ties to the Sharn authorities, and they are not necessarily on. They may be on the side of the mockery. As we say in Faerun, you never know.
They'll be really happy that the prisoners in question have escaped, first of all, I'm sure.
Well, if they are going to be upset about these prisoners escaping, are they going to be upset about Prince Orgav escaping as well?
I mean,
Yes,
Oh.
says Prince Orga. Answering for you.
I would imagine.
All right, well then, you know what? We can then. No offense, Percy, but fuck Housley around there. They are in it up to their eyeballs with the Dark Six, clearly.
because of some escaped prisoners? That doesn't mean they're in league with the Dark Six.
If they want to keep Prince Oriegev behind the bars, then trust me, they are not friends of the people. I do not want to get into a big political fight, but it's not a good sign, my dear. It is not a good sign.
There's been political conflicts everywhere without involving, cults, dark gods.
Right.
The cult may be using politics to their advantage, but that doesn't make the whole conflict political.
And I believe that these Rakshasas are the shape changers, n'est pas? And this is correct, right, Gan? That some have perhaps even infiltrated and taken over the identity of some officials in the government in Shan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There are certainly creatures better suited for that job, but yes, it would be possible.
Phelan will pipe up that it's the hands that give him away.
Well, and their disgust for mortals, but yes.
Do any of you have any concrete proof?
They all sort of look around the room at one another.
I think we, out of character, didn't we have something? I think we did have something. Because we were going to show something to Prince Orgev. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. God damn it.
I know. Ugh. Trying to remember.
I need to watch like the last 3 episodes because I kind of forget a lot of stuff.
I think me and you had something too, Dan, many moons ago.
Yeah, now that I think about it, anybody who's making Rakshasa do infiltration jobs on the Prime, I'm guessing probably needs a GS spell to do that.
What's Durin? What's the name of that? I'm gonna check the notes real quick. See if I have anything on this. Is the guy's name Durin, right? The lead Rakshasa dude?
One of them. There's not really a leader amongst them that you've met so far. You guys had dealings with Durin. You guys had dealings with
that bastard Hectus.
Yep, Hectus. Let me just look in Tailspire real quick. It'll be easy.
I have no notes that say the word Rakshasa.
Yeah, Hectus, Hectula. Let's see here.
Hectus was a real bastard.
Yep. I think he was the first one you met too.
Unfortunately.
Percy, it escapes me right now, but
a couple more inside of Ashkatel, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, you've definitely met several of them, and there's supposedly not supposed to be that many of them, but you basically went to their homeland, so not surprising that you saw a few. And now Zamiel and GMW, I don't think you guys have had much experience, but it sounds like Phelan has, based on the comment he made. He made a very apt comment, and Bluey turned to him with a nod of recognition when he makes this comment about the hands, and that you can distinctly tell a Rakshasa by their hands. Bluey is going to respond to this by saying that he saw one in the bowels of Sharn transform its figure, and he saw just before it transformed that its hands look like that, reversed, where its palms where the backs of its hands should be, and its fingernails and fingertips should be, but unfortunately, it's flipped over in grotesque and strange, aberrant manner. And I'm also going to say that both of you, even though you don't remember what the evidence, both groups, if you don't remember what the evidence you have is, you can relate it to Gavinrad, and since none of it's tangible, physical, tangible evidence, because I honestly don't think that it was. I'm pretty sure that it was, revelations and things that you guys had come to understand. Orgev's gonna say that we're basically in the same position he was before he got imprisoned and stood challenging the Chancellor within the King's Court. And you suddenly start to get a little bit of information about Orgev's actual specific jailing, what happened, what he did. He tells you that he challenged the Chancellor and that he claimed that the Chancellor was involved with the Blue Cult, and that the Blue Cultists were forming ranks underneath the city within the cogs, a kind of a lawless area underneath the many-layered city of Sharn, and what most people call the bowels of the city, because a lot of lawlessness and bad things happen down there. Fun fact, this is where Solitude's from.
That's right.
But what's occurring there is obvious, and he's seen it with his own eyes. He's a person of repute. He has name, he has standing, he's gained sovereignty. Thank you, Brian. I need smart people, because I'm not. And that is basically, his hill that he's going to stand on. I am a noble person. My word is worth something. People find me to be reputable. I have a whole nation of people that follow me, even though it's a broken nation. My word is worth something. Yet, even in that, he was wrong. And he knows that that's not somewhere that they can... that's not a road that we can take now. That's not going to do us any good. So he kind of explains that we're where he was before he challenged the Chancellor within the King's Court in front of Baron Irwinar.
You attempted to challenge the cult's political power. A grave mistake.
My mistake was challenging the Chancellor, giving his forked tongue time to persuade the king against me.
Exactly.
I should have spoken to the king in private, but I chose to do so honorably. I brought the topic up sort of like in a town meeting. It would have been like in like a village meeting, or like where the nobles kind of talk about things that are going on, things that are happening. And Orgev kind of took the floor with a chance to speak about, happenings within the refuge camp that the King of Breland had set up for all the Sirens, and took the floor and started talking about this instead, and kind of surprised everybody. And that's how it was easy for the Chancellor to turn it on him. And he started, basically saying that the young prince was trying to persuade lots of Breelish people to follow him instead of the king, and that soon he'd be leading a revolt just inside their city. A lot of people felt uncomfortable about that, and it led to literally all the Syrians getting kicked out of Sharn. Not just him getting imprisoned, but they cleared the refuge camps. And that's just word that he's received from a couple of other prisoners who've landed here, that have been brought from Sharn, or tried in Sharn and brought here, but not good.
Yes, if only we had cut out that snake's tongue when we had the chance. Not that we really did.
So you see, Percy, it is more likely than not that the house that brought you here is up to no good. Oh, and remember, I should tell you, there is also, the Rakshasa are, and by the way, we should get out of here, but we can walk and talk, but there's a group called the Lords of Dust, and the Rakshasa are part of this organization. It is like a, how would you say, over top of the blue cult? think is one way to say it. Definitely in allegiance with them, and their goal as well is to bring back these Dulazurak.
I appreciate what you're trying to convince me of, I guess. But I think I'm gonna need more proof than just the words of, I mean, no offense, as she looks around, convicted criminals?
I'm pretty sure that's the information that you had for Orgav too, just out of reference.
Yeah.
That the Lord of Blades was in league with Blue Cultists, and that you had learned that, you know, from one of the Blue Cultists that I think you guys talked to him inside the Palace of Vermicide when you like met up with the Lord of Blades or ran away from him. I can't remember which time it was. One of those times.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, that's the information I'm pretty sure you guys had to deliver to him. I don't think it was specifically about anything besides that.
Right. Okay. So did we do a decent job of doing that?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. All right. Well, Percy, I do not want to argue with you. You have your convictions, and you have your and they are right and true. All I am saying is that they are convicted, but when the judge, the jury, and the executioner are corrupt, what value is the conviction? If your entire reason to disbelieve them is that they are behind the bars, I would believe them more than the ones that put them there. And I will leave it at that. We should go.
Percy just nods.
Do we want to try to go out? I do not think the front door is a good option. Is there a basement to this tower? Nobody? Anybody?
I don't know how well I know the prison.
Is there some way we can look outside and see if the whole thing is swarming with chimera still? Again, you might be muted. Hello.
No, I'm not
Or
muted.
do you-
I'm sorry. I just spilled
Oh, okay.
all over myself.
Oh no.
So give me like 15 seconds to deal with this real
Okay.
quick, and then I'll...
Okay.
I didn't hear much of what just happened. I took my
Solitude
headset off.
leads the party out the secret exit in the
Oh,
basement
nice.
of the prison tower.
You found the secret exit.
I'm
rolled
just-
the nat 20s.
Yeah, in the basement. Yep. I'm just gonna just world build as I go. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
we were looking
the fact
outside
that
to see
you say that
if there's any.
is hilarious. Number one.
Oh, there it.
Number
Oh,
two.
yeah. Okay.
To give you some information, if you guys are talking about trying to get out,
Yeah.
Louis is going to make notice that when he was peering around, admiring the beauty of the prison and how gigantic it was, that there looked to be like water at the bottom, and that struck him as
Yeah, I
like,
was just gonna say
water
that.
had to have got in somehow, right? There's no sunroof here.
That's how it came in the secret entrance in the basement. All we have to do is find it.
But haven't we learned from every movie that you swim until you're out of breath and then you find a grate that you can't get through?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
No, not to worry. I've got magic to solve that problem. And many others, of course.
Yeah, I was
Very
gonna say,
good,
I don't know
because,
about y'all, but I don't swim too well with boots on.
Do we have like? I know we brought potions that like let us turn into sharks. Do we have like return potions?
You return shark potions.
Yeah.
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 Know your character, bro.
I forgot what our exit strategy
No,
was.
your character, bro. Yeah, I know. I'm looking through my inventory
You
frantically.
have a cleric who can control water, though,
Ooh, nice.
and stone shape.
What are you gonna Moses this water?
I think so. Yes, All2 sets her satchel down. Oh, I don't remember what I had in here. Hold on 1 second.
Tell you what, you can keep your weird shark transformation potion. I'm just gonna go with my water breathing ritual. Thank you.
Everybody starts
Can't do that
thoughts on how
twice,
they're
can
gonna
you?
breathe in water.
She pulls out this.
Well, I'm just saying it because I got to spend 10 minutes doing it, so I'm gonna start doing that now.
It's the water trial of Tri-Wizard Tournament, where everybody's doing something different.
And also, it targets 10 people, so even if you drink a potion or whatever, I'm still targeting you with the water breathing, just not telling you
Okay,
about
good.
it.
I don't have anything really very helpful. No, I
Promise
have the
possession
broom,
has been
this
taken from each of you.
broom of the flying. That's how I was going to get out of
Wants
here,
to
but the
explicitly
chimera
say
can
you're
fly too.
unwilling. You're getting targeted.
Totally making you
Just
guys
to be
deal
clear,
with
though,
that.
you're willing to be targeted by the spell, right?
Hey, we.
Okay, all right, good.
A bit of good news. If I were to rest for an hour, I could teleport us back to our airship. We have an airship, Percy. It's very nice. My room is the
Cool.
largest room.
Does it have a teleportation circle or something?
It does, courtesy of Monsieur Belisay.
Oh,
God
well,
rest his
that
soul.
sounds useful.
Well, we'd better make sure we move
Say,
quickly.
well, hell, why don't we
To
just
make
do
certain
that?
We still have an airship, says Bluey.
I need to rest. I do not have the power right now to cast it, but you give me an hour and I can get us to our ship lickety split.
Something tells me the fact I only see one of those beasts out there is not a reprieve. And Bluey thinks about that, kind of alluding to the fact that there's multiple of them outside and they may be ruining the ship even.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
It parked pretty far
Oh
away.
yeah.
Shiro, you know,
It is parked. It's parked pretty far away, yeah.
Down, but you know, these are flying creatures, and I'm sure once you guys get inside, after being frustrated for long enough, oh yeah, they're gonna want to know where the fuck you came from.
We have to go to that ship. I cannot let my beautiful room be destroyed.
I just made my bed.
And spent all that
It has a
time
hookah.
teleportation circles.
It has a hookah and everything, and a very expensive teleportation circle. All right. So we can wait here an hour, and I can try to do that, or we can try to get out down below.
Maybe we can do both.
It's probably if it is a danger that the chimera are attacking the ship, it may be better to go underwater. Honestly, I think that may be the safer route. Strange enough.
Orga nods his head. A naval approach may be best.
Zamiel's halfway through his ritual by now.
Okay. That means we need to find the stairs to the basement. I know anything else too about prison design? She quips. And she'll turn back into a prison guard as she walks out. She's gonna try to look for some stairs. Look for the way down. Allez-vous.
Bluey
So as
counts,
people start-
you know, in his head calculates and hops over the railing.
So before anyone leaves the room, Zamiel finishes the water breathing ritual, and now everyone can breathe underwater for the next 24 hours.
That's pretty fancy.
GMW
Nice.
walks up to the rail, makes the same calculation as like, that looks like a goddamn broken ankle.
Nah.
Louis looks up at you
No.
and says, "This is wise, Garrett Morrison Wiles. You will need to find an alternate route." And Bluey looks around the room that he's in currently, kind of like looking for basically how he would get in here. And as he
Solitude
does,
mounts. She mounts her broom of flying. Oh! Broom of crashing.
I hope you're good with that thing.
she flies with relative ease and grace. And Bluey points to a staircase in the opposite corner of the room as him. There. Find a wooden staircase on that side of the room.
I think I have it.
From your guys'
Right here?
perspective, yeah, you guys are like just on the opposite side. So like Zamiel, from where you're at, you can see like where that staircase begins, and it's right over here.
Yep. That's where I was headed.
Yep.
We're going down.
Down, down, the radio down.
Oh, I'm not to get my pretty robe all wet, but alas.
You can hear a couple prison guards like rattling insults off at you. This is the bottom level of the prison where most of like the murderers and the thieves are placed. And,
Okay.
you can kind of tell that just based on some of their demeanors and attitudes as they see you passing by their cells.
Hey, look, Percy, there's a grate. You are correct.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I'll check out the
can't
grate.
be too bad. We weren't down here with the rest of this rabble.
Is there a lock on the grate?
That aren't so innocent.
There is.
Wait, I would not believe these prisoners.
It's like sealed with what looks to be like 4 welds on each side of the circle, or each respective side of the circle.
I do not think my lockpicks will work on the welding.
Yeah, it looks like someone like sealed this to make sure that someone wouldn't get out. Like it may have been an access hatch to the sewage at some point, but it looks like it's been sealed off.
God.
You do see a
Where-
door though in the corner.
Oh, hey, there's a door. There's that. Where is Bluey and Percy? And I think that's it. We're missing them.
I'm at the top of the stairs here.
Excuse me.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
I don't know how to
Bluey's,
ping
like,
where I am, but
he's like standing at the threshold of, like just above you, looking down. Kind of
All right.
watching you do your observations, but still standing near the prisoners. Not paying
There's the
attention
door,
to
okay.
heckles.
Solitude goes for the door. Pulls out the thief's tools.
And this you can
Checks
see is like locked with a simple bolt lock that you can get out with your thieves' tools. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand.
All right. Going for it.
Zamiel's going to ready his staff and cast his mage armor.
With a le guidance. That will be a 24.
And you hear the lock click open, and the door is now open. As you walk into this room, you see that it's some sort of like flooded cell room mixed with a torture chamber. There's
Whoa.
like a human-sized cage hanging from a post that looks like it's lowered onto like a spike of some kind. And you can see that underneath that spike, there's like a burning, or not burning, like a pile of ash within
Straight
the
Baldur's Gate 3.
water. Looks like maybe someone like burning their feet or burning the bottom of the cage. Some torture treatment going on here. Some stretching racks where people have been, racked and quartered, I think they call it. Not very fun. And then you see like another larger pool flooded area over to the left where the water seems to get deeper. This looks to be almost like a murder room of some kind. You see spikes that are coated with brown blood. You can see this even though they're covered in probably 4.5 feet of clear water. But you're not sure exactly what they're positioned there for, but you think that people were taken here and executed at some point. You can also see a couple remains of human skeletons in the pool of water. And lastly, you see in the corner of the room a what you would say it looks like some sort of aquatic humanoid creature from the looks of it.
Does it still look alive?
The eyes are closed on the beast, but you can see that small bubbles seem to come out from its nostril holes, which are just slits on its face. And even underneath the water, the creature looks like a regal creature. Perhaps a noble of some kind. There's several pieces of fancy jewelry, piercings.
I don't see no aquatic creature in this here room. Where is it?
Roll perception check.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Uh-oh. That explains it. That's why I don't see it.
Well, there you go. That's why
Okay.
you can see your friends looking over in this corner over here. It's just underneath the water, so it's probably tough to see.
It is a very nasty room, this is. Looks like some very dark deeds were done here. We?
At least you have heels. It's up to Percy's chest.
This is a very
What a
strange
wonderful
cell.
place to work.
What do we do about this creature?
Any idea what you've got trapped down here in the cell, Percy? I'm guessing they didn't tell you anything about this room.
No, I mean, every prison kind of has a room like this.
I would assume this is not a room that Percy often finds herself in prisons. Bluey looks down into the waters, and you see his eyes scanning. It appears to be another grate down there, Solitude. I do not see any weld marks on this one. Perhaps you can open it.
I shall give it a try. One moment.
As you do this,
S'il vous
because I
plaît.
don't know the party super well yet, I'm gonna do a little cheating and ask a little question, a little meta question. Is anybody good at detecting traps, or would be good at that? Is your character gonna do?
I think I have the spell.
Ooh.
I have a very good investigation, but other than that, no.
Naturally, is any of you you have a natural affinity for things like that? That makes sense.
Nope.
GMW probably would be.
No.
Somewhat spec as a rogue for such
I
things.
wouldn't. expect it. I have a really high passive perception. And I
there you go.
didn't prep the spell. I just saw the spell.
All right, passive perception's worthy. GMW, you said something about roguishness and probably having these skills, if I wasn't mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
All right, GMW and Percy. Percy, what's your passive perception?
18.
All right, and GMW.
And I'm an amateur rogue.
Go ahead and roll survival here.
Percy?
Oh, no, this is specifically for
Okay.
GMW, and I got your 18 though. That's gonna be matching up with his. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh, pretty nice. 18 and a 17. You, Bluey, and GMW all kind of come to the realization that going into the water may be not a good idea in this room. And you come to that realization relatively fast. Fast enough to warn him not to do so.
Sin is going to say, are we going to leave this creature here? And where is it? I'm sorry, I was trying to find it myself and I couldn't find it.
In the corner.
Which corner?
The one with the sphere.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
I still don't see no creature, but okay.
I say cage.
Press tab.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
Push
All right, so we've decided not to go in the water because it might be dangerous.
I moved Bluey on top of him so you can see him.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
But the water seems trapped.
Yeah, so what do you mean the water is trapped? Like electrical or like, I do not understand. Like perhaps I can just go sneakily?
And I'm gonna say you guys like look closer at the water, those of you that are super smart and sly and don't want to get shot in the face by a crossbow. You see just that, like a crossbow pointed directly at this grate under the water, and it's sort of like obscured within the wall, and it's drawn back, and it looks like it's on some sort of a trigger. It's pointed directly at that hatch or sewer grate.
Well, if you want to get shot by a crossbow, be my guest.
I certainly do not want to be shot by a crossbow.
GMW just flicks a little bit of ashes into the water.
So is the crossbow visible like that out of the wall, or is like the whole mechanism hidden?
It's like partially visible,
Okay.
50-50. Half of it's hidden. All of the bow is drawn back basically. The cross is visible.
Well, in that case, Zamiel's just gonna pick up some object or handful of objects, and he's gonna try and jam them between the bow and the. He just throws some stuff into the water to try and. So when the bow, activates, there's a bunch of crap in the way, and it can't shoot. If it's visible enough to cram some stuff in there like that.
Yeah,
that is one way to disarm a trap.
Go ahead and roll sleight of hand there, Samuel.
I'm just dumping stuff in the water.
Yeah,
whatever.
no, that's okay. You're like lodging it in there, right? Trying to like jam it. So like you're it's in the water. It's different when you look from outside of the surface. Things look like they're different than where they are. And basically, what happens is you cause this thing to fire while you're trying to dislodge all this stuff. Nothing really bad happens. It just fires, and if anybody was standing there, it would have been real bad.
Okay, so I didn't succeed in stopping the bolt from firing, but I did manage to trigger it. Okay.
No, and luckily our prisoner friend is on the opposite side of the room, is where a bolt now lies lodged, even under the water, in the opposite wall.
Yeah, must have been like a harpoon launcher.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's pretty big. And the arrow looks like it's about 4.5 feet long, so it's a big guy.
Wow.
All right. Is there any indication that the mechanism is reloading or doing anything like that?
No, it looks like a single shot from your perspective, and like even your passive perception could tell you that there, Samuel.
Well, I guess we're good to go then.
Hey, a good job, monsieur. Okay, I shall try to unlock the grate. Yeah.
Should be safe. Looks safe.
Let's hope anyway.
It'll be fine.
I put that trap there literally so I could learn who's the trap people in the party, by the way.
Nice.
Those poor unfortunate souls.
All right.
Chelsea, you were saying something?
Me? No.
Oh, I thought that you were saying something.
Go for it. Be careful.
Oui, merci. I'll give myself les guidance and go down and unlock the grate. If possible. I can't find I can't get my doggone tailspire to not. It's wronging me right now. Oh, there! I finally got it. Okay.
Spiraling.
Well, yeah, I fixed it now, so I can. I kept having the roof covering up stuff, but I finally fixed it. Okay.
Oh, how'd you fix it? Because I have the same problem.
Green slider bar.
Yeah, slide that green slider.
That green slider bar until you have no more problems.
There's the doggone grate.
Slide it back up.
You got to remember
All
to
right.
lock it though when you get it
That's
really
yeah, you can lock it into place too.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, every time you touch a character, it resets the height.
Yup.
Find the sweet spot. That's what they're telling you.
Yeah.
So the lock is just
Dang.
next to the little green bar. And once you get
Got
to your
it.
happy place, you just press that. But you'll
Beautiful.
adjust it as you go. And even if it's locked, you can still move it. It's cool. It just doesn't move whenever the character moves to their point, which makes things nice.
Yeah, it's hard to do when you're really low, like below the ground level on the map. You tend to need that.
All right, Solly, sleight of hand me, Bay.
All right.
Solid.
Here we go.
Solitude Bay. I hear a lot of people calling Shadowheart and Carlac Bay,
Ooh.
and Car Bay, and Shadow Bay.
Very poor roll.
I think you should
Only
settle
a
They rolled up the tongue a
17.
little better.
You should be
And Bazel.
Yeah, you should be Solid Bay.
Well, Salabe only got an 18 that time.
Solid Bay gets an 18, but she's able to unlock the grade.
Bazel.
You try and lift it up,
nice.
Solitude. And Solitude, what's your strength
Mad
score,
about
Solitude?
18.
I have an 11 strength.
Okay, Solitude, you probably need to spend more time at Planet Eberron Fitness, and you try and pull up the grate, but you're not able to. You can feel that you've unlocked the grate. You know that you've unlocked it, but you're like, this thing is way too heavy for me. And you look back and have a bunch of people that are smiling at you.
Get ahead of yourself there, Solitude. That's Bluey's job.
Yeah, I'll swim
Phelan
up
will jump in.
and inform the group. I have unlocked it, but it is just so heavy. My dainty arms cannot lift it. Who will help me? I wish that Gragus was here. He would be able to help me.
Phelan kind of like steps up in between Zamiel and GMW, offering his assistance.
Yeah, he'll dive in.
You can feel that this thing has like pretty solid grips around it. And go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
Come on, Planet Fitness.
Oh boy. Sorry. Double. I rolled twice. It should have been. I rolled a 1.
I saw a 9 in there.
My first roll.
Either one is not going to serve you well as you gallantly step up to help the beautiful Solitude, as she struggles with the grate, and you find that like this pickle jar is one of the tightest you've ever seen. You lift and you pull, but you're not able to even make a single budge on this grate.
Oh. I might need a hand with this one.
Not feel as bad. Not being able to open it. Who will be our brave adventurer and open the grate?
Don't let it get to me, guys. My strength score is 8.
Man, Bluey, you are
Not much better than you.
a tough fella. Can you assist us? Merci.
Bluey sort of walks up, like he's tired of ripping things off of doors and walls, and just takes a look at the grate.
I should have petitioned to use my athletics. It might have gone a little better.
He nods to Phelan, like sort of like indicating like to perform a team lift with them. And they're both able to lift it together and push the grate up. And you can see that even Bluey kind of like struggles with this one. The grate is extremely heavy, and while you'd think under the water it would be even easier, obviously it contributes to the weight of this thing.
Slider, can I move that slider down more now?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there's tunnels.
Say GMW is gonna take a huge drag off the cigarette and kill it. Throw it out in the water before he wastes any of this precious tobacco.
As soon as you get down in there, Solitude, you can see that there's a tunnel that leads to what looks like daylight. You can see light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, I want to see that.
Phelan will take your tobacco and put it in his bag of holding. Keep it dry.
When you scroll down, did you hear the water effect when you scroll down and like get to the water level?
Yeah, yep. Once you get underwater.
It's neat. That's super neat.
Cool.
Good job,
Hey,
Tailspire.
Yan, before we leave this room, can Sin go and check this cage?
Yeah, absolutely.
To see if it's like.
We're gonna check this guy out.
Absolutely. Let me get a visual on this underwater for you guys on the stream later, and yeah, you guys can see that this creature now has its eyes open and is peering back at you, interested, and it speaks to you in a language that you may recognize, Merfolk.
Oh shit. Let me see how the message spell works. Let's see. How does this work?
Yeah, I could solve this with another ritual, but that's gonna take another 10 minutes.
Basically,
I am already
you could
underwater.
Probably like ask him like, "What did you say?" Yeah, with message, you know, because you can point your finger at him and say something, and he can reply, and only you're gonna be.
Yeah, so that's what she does. She'll ask him. She'll ask him something like if he's falsely imprisoned as well, as he gained the ire of the Chancellor.
Oh yeah, totally.
In Merfolk, well,
Convincing.
you hear Merfolk, you hear in I guess your common tongue, Singurin. He replies, "I know not this Chancellor that you speak of. I have been imprisoned for my worship of my god, the Kraken. I am a priest of the Kraken. I know only the Kraken."
That's the wrong answer. But being a day old, she doesn't know, is this Kraken an honorable creature? Something that is worth reverence and that seeks peace in this land? Something that, like, obviously somebody not knowing of a Kraken would ask.
I love it.
In a world of little reverence and relatively no honor, the Kraken is all.
She'll ponder something and she'll say, how did you get in this place? Or why were you put in this place? Is it simply for worshiping your god?
The land creatures do not understand us of the water. They see us as sport. Some see us as food. They do not understand our ways, nor our gods.
Yeah, let Let me do an intelligence check. This is going to be a 50-50.
I love it.
Let the dice decide. This dice say
You're
you are free, buddy.
intelligent.
Okay.
Very.
So, so Singe will say, I know very little of the outside world, but it appears to me that someone shouldn't be in prison simply for what they believe. And she will try to... Is there a way to free him that's obvious from somebody outside the cage?
Yeah, you can see that there's like a crude padlock locking the single gate that keeps him within this cage. And while
Okay.
there's no key or anything like that to be seen or found nearby, it does look like it'd be relatively easy to break off or shoot off.
Now, was GW, was he next to me?
Standing right next to you.
Okay,
buddy.
yeah, she'll say to him, I don't understand his language, and I don't understand much of what he was referencing to. Have you heard of a kraken?
The great underwater sea beast?
Is that what it is?
To the best of my knowledge.
You can see that the
He
merfolk
said-
is like looking back and forth between you as you guys have your dialogue.
He says that he's imprisoned for worshipping it, and he seems to want to be freed. I figure if we freed you two, then it's only fair that we free him.
I shrug my shoulders. Percy, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like I think it's a good idea to get him out of this room. This room doesn't feel right.
Sounds like someone's belief systems are being challenged.
Bluey says,
Well,
I
very-
cannot speak for the repute of this creature, but this room looks to be of maximum security. Bluey looks around all around the room, looking like he's impressed.
Well, that'll settle it. Why don't you two take a step back?
Yeah, there's no telling how long this creature has been imprisoned here.
GNW
Wait,
materializes
well...
his revolver.
Oh, yes, yeah, sure.
Bluey seems to be in full support of this, by the way. He's ready to see how much ass this guy can kick.
And I'll take aim and shoot the lock point blank.
Unless you roll a nat 1 to kill him.
I'm gonna guess a 32 gets it.
Yeah, you did not roll a nat 1 to kill him.
Whoa.
You shoot the lock off with absolute ease. And you can see, actually, that the lock is shot off such that just a tiny little piece of it, where the bullet went through it, pierced it, just enough for it to open up. And GMW, you're able to just kind of grasp the lock and open it like a bike lock or a locker lock.
Take the lock off, swing the door open, and gesture him out.
So, Sin is going to say, now that we have freed you, will you help us escape?
I suppose thanks is due, and I shall speak in your tongue, but only while necessary. He says this with a great distaste, as though he does not like to speak the language of the land people. But he can speak common. You do kind of like hear like a garbled, watery echo in his voice as he speaks, and I can't do that unless I like
Don't bother.
gargle some water while I talk. I'll try to do it. I can't do it. It's too hard.
Freaking gurgling water all over his keyboard. No, all of
Gonna
it.
sound like
That's why
Admiral-
he spilled on himself earlier.
Exactly. I'm gonna sound like that guy who in Star Wars who says
Please
like,
don't.
"It's a trap." I forget his name.
Admiral Akbar.
Admiral
Admiral
Akbar.
Akbar.
Yes, that's who I'm gonna sound like.
The infamous.
That would be perfect if you could do that.
That would be funny. Even if you had just like a soundbite of that, that'd just be so
That
funny.
is your forever
But
voice.
I will try my best to do Admiral Akbar.
Not too far.
that's good enough. We'll take it. I'll
Sounds
take
like
it.
Admiral Radis.
All right. Well, underneath the water, you find he's freed of his cage, and he doesn't attack you. He nods his head in thanks and asks, "Where's the exit?"
Yeah, she'll point to the grate and she'll ask if he can lead the way.
Yeah, he kind of like swims with ease over to the grate or open grate. And he like flourishes in the air and then dips down into the hole extremely fast. And before you can even see where he's at, it's almost like he's gone. And as you follow him down to the hole, you see what Solitude before you saw. You see like a ray of sunlight at the end of this tunnel, and he joins Solitude down in the tunnel. And for those of you that are struggling to see, if you get outside of the building and look in from the bottom, it's a little bit easier. But you're able to make it outside of the tunnel, and you see that there's sunlight and a surface above you that's not blocked by stone. And if you swim up to it, you get some breath. If you have cast something that is aiding your breathing underwater, you find that there's only a short period of time, probably about 30 seconds or so, you have to swim to get to this point. So no checks are needed, no real desperation or fear is had for those of you who are claustrophobic or afraid of being underwater. You are able to make it out pretty easily.
Yeah, 40 feet's not bad as far as underwater tunnels go.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Now we still have a lot of. This tower is like in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, right?
Yep. And we know that your guys' airship was sort of parked. I'll use my indicator as a pointer, if you guys can see where the line is pointing in that direction.
Oh, hold up. Okay, over there? That way? Okay. This way.
And you guys were probably about a mile off from the prison when you had parked the airship. So you're a mile away from the airship as you last knew it to be. But when you break the surface of the water, the airship is nowhere in sight. You're happy to see that it's not burning, sinking into the water, at least Bluey is. And says this out loud, if he's not underwater. Blah, 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 blah.
If we look out, are there any chimera circling overhead or stuff like that?
You can see that there is a couple of chimeras circling over the prison tower. They don't seem to spot you guys having breached the surface, but if you see them, you probably dip back underneath the surface, and Bluey does this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we go in the direction of the airship. How far is it to get back to like land?
A ways.
Yeah, you guys are a
long
long way
ways
from land. So let me give the players some perspective about where you're at, like map-wise. All right, and I'll share a map of Corvair real quick in the chat. We can talk a little bit about it, and then I'll share a closer pinpoint of where you guys are actually at. Just bear with me momentarily.
Yeah, I got water breathing, but I don't have water boating. Sorry.
Aw.
Wonder if the Kraken would let us ride him.
Well, you guys just made friends with literally a dude who's like loves the Kraken, so not a
One of us for each
idea.
leg.
Sorry, I missed that last part. What was that?
One of us for each of his legs.
Yep,
One of the Kraken's
that's
legs.
right. Just hold on to the Kraken. Become friends with the Kraken. If you guys befriend the Kraken with animal handling, you are a legendary party. It's a level automatically, I think. We are, let's see here, in the right place, slowly but surely. Maps, there it is, Corvair. Alright, here's Greater Corvair, and then I'm just going to share this because it's an excellent thing to have as well. I have it favorited, I just don't have it handy.
Sharn is way in the south, right?
Yes. Yep. Sharn is all the way in the south, and you guys are basically not even visible on this map. You are literally off the beaten map of Corvair, all the way in the south, underneath where you'd see Breland, in the sea of... Oh my god, I can't even see it. Oh, I gotta get you another map, sorry. This map is gonna be better for you anyway. It's an interactive map.
Mm.
And we can use this throughout the campaign, I would say. Probably would be good to use. And you know what? I think I have it pinned in this very channel. I don't know why I'm searching. Okay, maybe I don't. Yes, there it is. Alright, so this is a better map. This is literally all of Eberron. So like the world of Eberron, all the continents. And you can move around. But maybe what I can do is this real quick. I will share my screen in the cord of disk. You will not judge me for the amount of tabs I have open.
I feel like we expect nothing less.
It is
No,
to be expected.
I just feel bad for your memory.
Alright, let's find where we're at. So, Breland and Sharn. Where's Sharn? Sharn. Right here in magical Breland. You guys are very, very, very far south of Sharn. In the Thunder Sea. All the way over here. You see that little blip right there? That small little piece of land that's barely visible on the map? That's you guys. So to give you some perspective about where the nearest landmass is, it's not anywhere near you guys. And the prison, the capital prison of Sharn, is meant to be basically uncharted, not findable, so people can't break people out and things of that nature. Only certain people that are authorized, such as people like our friend Percy, would be told of its destination.
Okay, and so the airship is nowhere to be seen, right?
And for your information, Percy, like how you would have gotten here, you would have definitely gotten here by ship, and there is some small ships docked at the port in front of the prison. However, those would be pretty visible to the chimeras and probably would not be able to outrun a chimera, but is currently the only like vessel of travel that you guys would have nearby. But just so you would know that, like, your character would definitely know that you got here somehow. It was on boat. The boats are still there. They didn't leave without you.
Okay.
Oh, the boats are still there. Okay.
Yes, there is a couple boats that would be like seaworthy. Maybe, maybe not if there's a bad storm. But again, like we talked about when you guys made travel there, like not a lot of people will make travel out to the Thunder Sea. And that's probably one of the reasons why Percy took this job too, they paid a pretty penny. This is definitely higher than your normal rate. You're getting paid about 4.5 times what your normal rate would be.
Yeah.
And,
The money will be nice.
Hey.
I live.
and we'll
Versus buying dinner.
We'll include that as a reward when you get back to Sharn too. So that's something that you can like collect on from me at a later point.
Nice.
Gan, question.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions. So the airship was nowhere to be seen, right? And it's where it was.
Yeah,
Is that right?
You currently can't track the airship, and Bluey, even like when he did his little scan, he came up with nothing. So you guys are on the same page in that regard.
Okay, my question then is as follows: can you cast spells underwater?
It depends. So like if it's a spell you have to speak, it might be tough. I think you can blah 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 it, but who knows how well that's gonna work? Maybe you cast
the
it at
vocalized
like a
spell.
higher difficulty, or I make it a little bit more difficult for you to cast it. But I don't think it would be impossible. No.
There's a level 2 spell that lets you do it.
Oh, it sounds like there's a spell that lets you do it too.
I do not have that spell, but I could.
It's called that spell. Is also.
It's always called that spell.
Or
If
if
I
you're
had
a
that
sorcerer.
spell, I could teleport us right here in the water. So. What? Sharn, House of Civis? Or Xantash or Zendrick? Or the airship?
I think
What's the House of
airship would be the
Civis?
best bet.
The airship
Say
sounds
probably
great.
airships, so we're not stranded somewhere.
What's the House of Civis?
They're giving you the answer.
Oh.
Someone said it. Say it again. Say it again one more time. What's the house?
Airship.
This is the airship house. Yeah.
Oh.
They make airships.
Yeah, you do
Oh.
have a crazy amount of tabs open.
I see.
They're
So that
in charge of
that is the
communications.
airship. Is that the airship circle then? I have this in my notes for teleportation circle. Does that mean is like so I have 3 written down for places I can like circles I know. One is Xantash, one is Zendrick, and one is Sharn House of Civis, but I'm wondering if the Sharn House of Civis is really just like my name for the airships circle.
I mean, it would have to be. Well, because I think, or it might mean that you have actually 4 and you just didn't write down the airship, because why would you write that down? 'Cause,
Yeah,
I
I definitely wouldn't have written down airship.
It's a given.
Okay, so above table, you guys think that the airship's the best teleportation circle to use? Because the airship could be destroyed.
Has it been an hour?
No, I'd have to.
Oh, yeah.
We'd have to short rest underwater for an hour, and then we'd have to try to cast it.
I can clear us a path so there's a trench. I can part the water so there's a trench.
Hell yeah, you can.
It only lasts for up to 10 minutes. I can do
But-
it multiple times.
My casting time is 1 minute for a teleportation circle, and
There
if
you
you
go.
part the water, then I would have a nice,
Yep.
clean spot to cast.
Hey, Gan,
like
did
it.
you say that boat was still there?
Okay, that's
There's
pretty
2
clever.
boats, and you guys would have seen them like on your entrance there. There's like a small port with a couple boats.
And are the Chimera looking, are they kind of
Yeah, they'd
watching those?
They'd be these boats would be relatively visible to the camera the way they're kind of like circling about the top of the towers. You can only see 2 of them circling the towers. One of them was like pinned to that back door, if you recall, and presumably still there. Hopefully still there.
I kind of vote that we walk a little further away till we're out of Chimera view, and then part the water and try the rest and teleportation circle.
How long does a water breathing last?
24 hours. I'm inclined to agree.
Plenty of
As
time to
much
rest
as
underwater.
as much as I'd like to have the water parted so I could roll another cigarette, the Chimera's above. I'm inclined to think that's a bad idea.
What if we get a little farther away first? They may not see it. Could you just part a little bit of the water? I just make a little 10-foot circle. That is all I need to make my teleportation spell.
That's actually a really good question. Control water is a 100-foot cube, I think. Am I allowed to choose to not use the whole 100 feet?
I would say so. Like, you could, constrain the power of the spell, reducing its range.
Yeah.
I would let that happen for sure.
Well, I want to suggest something too. Can we walk in one direction until John is ready? That way we are out of sight of the Chimera.
Totally agree with that.
Yep. Blue would do.
The priest might also be of assistance.
Yeah, the priest is currently just kind of listening to what you guys are saying and takes note of everything you're saying and agrees that some rest could do everyone some good, and that in the morning he may, or after a long rest, he may have something to offer.
Yeah, I guess we could even long rest. It's 24 hours. I didn't even think about that. Jeez.
Yeah, but who wants to be underwater for that long?
Not
Long rest is what, 8 hours?
The Murphy.
I'll get off.
I live underwater.
But I'll get all pruny.
I know. I do not want to get all pruny.
Yeah, Bluey is also not a fan of staying underwater for that long, but he understands it may be a necessity. I'm going to get rusty in here.
I mean, if that's the case, I will literally shape myself a 5-foot bed on the side of the stone wall. Like, I am not staying underwater.
That's awesome.
You might have to water shape us a little pocket down here if we have to go that long. I can't go that long without smoking. Are you kidding me?
You would run out of air, wouldn't you?
I'm not going to be in a bubble while you smoke either.
I like how part of the first party's disagreement involves smoking and not wanting to sleep underwater. These are excellent things to argue about. I actually really appreciate this.
Peak RP right here, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we do one of those things then. We suggested a lot, but we definitely did one of those that equaled 1 hour.
Yeah, are we going to walk far away and then rest?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Short rest.
And for those of you that don't want to sleep under the water, you don't necessarily have to take the pack mentality here. It seems like there's enough people who probably want a way to breathe some oxygen other than what's in the H2O here. And with that said, if any of you wish to do that, just let me know, and I can let you guys know what happens as you guys long rest. And that's not to say that something's going to happen if you do one or the other. Just something's going to happen to both of you guys when you long rest.
Ooh. Well, what do you think, y'all? Do you want a long rest or short rest?
It may be a boring something. Don't hype me up too much, John.
I was just looking for the short rest.
Yeah, short rest, long rest, up to you guys. And I would say it doesn't have to be unified in that regard either. Some people may be more beat and need more time, but just let
That's
me know
true.
what you're doing.
Like, after the short rest, I can teleport us to the airship. And then we could rest there.
Then we could long rest there, yeah.
If there's still an airship to be teleported to.
Sounds like a great adventure.
Yep. That's the rub. We could go to Sharn. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Question. What happens if you teleport to something that no longer exists?
It's a great question.
Well, there's a teleportation circle actually on the ship. So to be specific, if you teleport to like a destination that no longer physically exists on the plane, not good. You're gonna probably end up in what would be known as the ethereal plane, the in-between.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. Percy's
Yeah, but what if the circle doesn't exist anymore, you know? Like if the ship's destroyed.
If the ship is destroyed itself and the circle is destroyed and you transport there, you render yourself under the possibility of extreme evisceration, decapitation. This is like that part in The Hobbit when he rolls out the script of all the terrible things that can happen to you going after smog. It's not a good idea to teleport. I think we did this in our Strahd game. Not a good idea to teleport to somewhere that's been like magically tampered,
hold up,
physically
you guys.
damaged. Could be bad.
Does my Book of Shadows have Mr. Ship Pilot as one of the people on it? I'm pretty sure it does.
Can anyone
I know he has some type of
checking.
I know he has some type of communication back to the ship, like a sending stone or something. But we did have sending stone.
Oh, dang it. No, I got rid of that. I have the thing that, like, if you drop to 0 hit points, you go to 1. That lifesaver spell.
But we had sending stones, didn't we? Because we wouldn't go there without a way to get back. So we did
Yeah,
have
I got
sending
sending stones, but mine goes to Belsay. So that's no good. Dang it.
Well, let's see what spells we have.
Can anyone scry?
Can't
Not
Samuel
me.
scry? Samuel can scry, can he? Corvus is muted. You might be AFK. Corvus, I did it. I told you. I was gonna do it.
Oh no, I'm here. But not underwater. We're underwater.
You can pop your head above the surface. It's not like you can't swim to the top.
He's a bloop, 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 and then he just scries for a short period of time. Come on, bro. Swim scry.
We move out, shape water, scry, and then see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I might swim to the surface with you if
You want to scry as to what happened to the airship, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You just want to smoke GMW, says Bluey.
You read my mind.
Knows you all too well. It sounds like you guys are formulating quite the plan here. And
yeah, I can take 10 minutes to cast a divination spell, but you'll need to. I can't like tread water and do it at the same time, you know. Pretty sure that's a no-go.
We can do a little cheerleader pyramid underneath you to hold you above water.
oh yes.
You'd have to make some clever platform or something.
Nah, I got control water. We're good.
Bluey
Let's,
begins to pick you up with by 1 foot and like raise you up. It's not hard to do so. He's standing with his arm above his head. He's probably about 12 and a half feet tall, we'll say.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
So,
if you can get my head just above water, then yeah, I could cast it.
yeah, he hardcore Giga Chads you into the surface.
And you got to hold it for 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, that's not a problem. You see no shaking in his Warforged arm.
All right. Samuel will spend 10 minutes casting the divination spell.
You guys problem
And,
solving.
He will. Well, I'll just write I'll copy what it does, just so we're clear.
Percy can clear you a spot in the water.
Yep. Do I need to?
So, what do you think? DM?
Absolutely.
Should I just ask you the question directly,
Oh.
or privately?
GMW's already grabbing his lighter.
Oh yeah, I'll just cast control water here, like just enough to give us space to smoke and for Percy to dry off somewhat.
Do you have enough slots to use it again for my teleport circle?
Yes, but if I didn't, Percy doesn't care.
Okay.
She's not like the water. I'm still casting, yeah, but I have plenty. Yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
Create an air bubble underwater. Hide from the Chimera.
I made an air shaft with it.
Let the smoke out.
Yes.
As long as you can maintain it for 10 minutes, it'll work.
Yep, exactly 10 minutes. Like the moment it's yeah. She's like, go.
So, well, in that case,
You were just all
GMW
underwater,
would
it's funny.
retrieve his supplies from Phelan, light up a cigarette, take a couple puffs, and offer it to Percy to see if she'd want any. You look a little stressed.
No thanks.
You sure? It really takes the edge off.
Yes.
Kind of shrug my shoulders. Suit yourself.
And is it a short rest we're taking, group?
I think we're only scrying. Oh, right?
That's right, we're gonna scry
I think we
before
took
the
a
short rest.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
we're taking a short rest.
Yeah, after the scrying, we'll do that. That makes sense. So after 10 minutes of the most awkward freaking spellcast Samuel has ever done in his freaking life, like 100%. He's so weirded out the whole time he's doing this because he's doing somatic motions in the water while his head is above the water, and it's just so awkward. But he still manages to maintain his concentration and get the spell done. And then he immediately goes down into the water after that because the position's just so awkward.
Alright, I'm trying to think of in your where and when did you ever meet Shiro?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case,
He was our
then
captain.
You knew him firsthand, which gives you
Sure.
Oh shit!
plus.
Really?
No, I'm sorry, you're familiar with them. So that gives you a -5 to the save modifier. Good. Cool. You have a body part, lock of hair, or a bit of nail, perhaps, of Shiro's. No, you don't. I'll answer that question.
Non-organic matter.
Trying to get you a DC on your scry. So just give me a second here. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm using the vague divination scry, by the way. It's
Yeah.
just it's not the scry spell, it's divination. So you can just
it's not
settle it with a
scrying.
vague answer.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, in that case, I will do just that. Thank you. Thank you for that bailout card.
Yep, vague
Phone a
answer is all you
friend.
need.
In that case, I will say that the vague answer that you get from the subject you are trying to reach, who is Shiro, the captain of the airship, is that the Skybreaker has been captured.
Damn.
Bogue is in control of the ship. I am no longer piloting. I have been taken below to the brig, currently sitting next to Pai Mei and Phyrix. And some of you are probably chuckling. Those of you who are chuckling know who that is. Those of you who are not chuckling don't know who that is. It's two horses. One of them's a nightmare, one of them is a beautiful stallion, silver steed. He explains to you that the teleportation circle has been barred in a way that if anybody tries to teleport in, they're going to be eviscerated because a ward has been put up over it. He warns you not to try and take course of action to regain access to the ship via the teleportation circle, figuring that this is the first thing that you'll try and do.
Smart.
Damn.
Wow.
That's a good
Well, we
thing
avoided
that
a
we checked.
bullet dodge that way, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was gonna just tell John to go ahead.
Any
Would have been
location
really
data?
funny though if we just teleported.
Everybody dies.
I was really
Everybody dies.
I was really gonna just say, yeah, let's do it. What's the worst that can happen?
We all
I
die.
would have had to audible in that case.
Do we have access to anyone with a ship to intercept or save the others?
Bluey looks
know
at
a guy.
Orgrev as the most royal member of the group, expecting him to have some rich friends with airships, and Orgrev says, "Don't look at me."
We know a guy
Well,
who
this is
knows a
interesting.
kraken.
I mean, that means that we can teleport to Sharn, Xantashk, or Zendrick.
Sharn might be.
And I think Sharn has to get the nod, right? Don't you think?
I would say Sharn gets the nod. The merfolk says something about how merfolk really need a full, it's like 19 hours of sleep every day. every week, I should say. They sleep only once a week. But they
now I'm jealous.
he explains that rest is like a necessity for him at this point, and that he understands sort of the situation that you guys are in, and that you're stranded here, and that you're not in a position of where he is, where he's like in his basically in his home environment. And he says to you that all will be well. If you need transportation, he can do so, albeit underneath the water. And for those of you that, would have means of breathing underneath the water for long periods of time, you may feel free to, use them at your will. However, he also has a means of giving you that ability as well. Though
At
we'll
least.
have to wait.
Oh, guess I preempted him on that one.
A rest.
At least a way to shore.
That would be appreciated.
He thinks he can get you far enough underwater to get you to like a mainland, depending on which direction you want to go. He's confident, really. You're
Sounds
kinda
much better
you're
than
centered
risky
out in the
teleport.
Thunder
Let's
Sea,
go with
so
that.
if he's saying he can get you there, it would be okay for your character to be skeptical of it too, because you're in the middle of the freaking ocean. So it's like, are you sure you can get us there all the way underwater? We're not gonna die. We need oxygen. But he's seemingly confident that he can help you breathe underwater, but he says that he will need to take rest in order to be able to give you this ability.
Yeah, to be honest, the casters could probably just fly away if they wanted to anyway. We won't do that, though.
Is there any... Can I look around for some natural terrain, like, on the seafloor that we could use to rest? Well, I can't control water or stone shape for that long, so I guess that doesn't really matter.
Let me think about
Like,
this.
if we can avoid the chimera, we can just bed down like rock climbers on the side of the wall, but that's all I got.
So are we trying to decide now between doing the long rest here underwater and going with the merfolk dude, or teleporting somewhere? Is that what we're...
Oh,
Or
yeah, 'cause we
teleport
can
out
just-
now?
We
We're
can
not gonna
just
teleport.
out. I don't know.
Well, you can't
We
use
can.
the ship's teleportation circle. You can't necessarily.
Right.
You said to say you can't necessarily use the teleport spell, but you can't use the ship's teleportation circle. Well, that's not to say you can't. You've been advised not to.
Yeah. But I thought some people weren't keen on trying to teleport to Sharn.
I don't think there was any objections to that. It sounded like actually there was support of it, from what I heard.
Oh, okay. Is that what you guys want to do? Then, because we can do that,
Correct.
or we can long rest first.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, too. It sounded like most people were in support of that. I didn't hear any objections.
Yep.
Percy's down.
Better than
Okay.
pruning
So we're-
ourselves.
Worst case, there's 3 of us who are wanted criminals, but let's do it.
4.
Where is that?
Says Blue.
4 of us are wanted criminals in Sharn.
Do we want to long rest first?
Blue
And the-
places a hand on Phelan's shoulder and says, I had a feeling about you.
I guess we gotta rest as long as the merfolk does. We want him to
Yeah.
take us.
If we're teleporting, he doesn't need to take us, though, right?
Oh, as long as you can cast that in the water, yeah. We're gonna do the same
Yeah,
thing
I'm just-
with me.
I'm wondering if I mean, I'm good to go with the short rest. I'm fine, but if y'all don't want to go into Sharn without a long rest, we could long rest here.
Sharn is definitely the boiling pot for half the party, so it's definitely something to take into consideration. If you go there, you will need to go there under disguise without being interrupted or intercepted by local authorities.
Ah,
And that's just common knowledge to your characters. That's not me being...
Gan. So where is? So the other options are Zendrick and Xantash. Zendrik's like a whole ass other
It's,
continent.
That's Bumfuck and Bufu for right now for you.
Yeah.
You want to go see the dinos?
Yeah, I can show you where Zendrik is. Let me do my map share again. I'll go back to one of my million tabs. And yeah, share screen. Did everybody get my lookup of what was it? What were we looking up? We were looking up Civis. Yeah, how's Civis? If you didn't get Civis, I'll post the wiki in the chat.
A gnome house.
Yeah, there you go. And Zendrik.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not
Lovely
wild about
continent
going to
of
Sharn.
And Zantash. You're gonna have to forgive me. I've forgotten where the hell Zantash is. See what I mean? Bufu. It's not anywhere near Sharn, that's for sure. It would be on that. It's somewhere you've never been before, which is not necessarily a terrible place to be when you're a person on the run. I could totally find on the map where Zantash is if I had a brain, but I don't. I'm gonna have to Google it.
Yeah, I mean, me and Zamiel were apprehended with Forgev, so we are probably wanted of things like treason.
Yep.
Yeah, and teleporting Prince Forgev.
Phelan's not exactly like wanted for saintly crimes.
Phelan, a majority of the party is wanted and will probably be executed on sight.
Yep. Not good.
Where is the airship being held?
Didn't find that out, and it sounded like maybe he didn't know. Basically, you know, the ship is being controlled by him. He's in the bottom of the ship, pushed in between Pai Mei and Phyrix, being held in basically the stables. Not a fun place for Shiro. Zantash is with an X too, right?
Oh, no idea.
God damn it, John. Where's your notes?
My notes, I just spelled it phonetically. It has a Z, but I could be totally wrong.
All right. Well, you gotta learn how to spell better in Eberron. All right, number one. It's got K at the end of it. It's a small village in Zendrik, found along the western shore of a bay of the Thunder Seas. It's actually pretty close to you. 100 miles down the coast from Stornreach. Probably the closest of all of your fun points of interest to you right now. But it's still...
So Zantash is in Zendrik?
Sharn. Yes, Zantash is a small village in Zendrik.
Oh shit!
Let me send you this so you have this.
So we don't have.
information.
We only have one option.
Zantashk.
That's funny. I thought it was two different locations. It's one.
Zantash, Zendrik, bro. Zantash, Zendrik.
Yep.
Know your character.
Well, that's all Solitude can do. She can get us to Zantash and Zendrik.
So you should have said back.
House Thrash could possibly help us. They have an outpost in Zantash.
Okay. Well, y'all want to do that? Let's go to Zendrik. It was actually on our party's list of things to do. Because I think Siberius shards are in Zendrik.
Yep.
Dragon shards and treasure.
And
yeah, that's right. Siberius shards are in Zendrik.
And if you have an inn with House Thrask, that would be a pretty excellent way to kind of make your way throughout that place as well. Make some immediate contacts, find some people to show you around, find some people to give you the info you need.
All right, let's do it.
Solitude needs a short rest first?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, and with that being said, I think this is probably a good place to stop it. You guys short rest. We'll resume after the short rest. The fateful decision being a teleport.
Yep.
I'm going to use Stone Shape to make a ledge. I am not sitting in the water for now.
Love it. And you find yourself like in rocky enough territory where you're almost still covered by the stones above you, and able to make makeshift cover. And you're not able to see any chimera flying around, which relieves you as well.
Nice.
I got a question, a physics question, a weird. Do you think a tiny hut spell, the dome from a tiny hut spell, would block the water from coming in, or no?
Wow.
It should.
Let me think about
I think
that
It
real
says
I
quick.
think it worked
comfortable
in
and dry.
Critical Role.
That's all I have to go on.
Well, if it worked in Critical Role, I feel very inclined to allow it to work here.
Summons a
I think
tiny hut underwater.
They were in a
Exactly.
sinking ship, and I think they used it to block out the leak in the ship.
Well, it
Whoa.
springs into
Oh.
existence around and above you, and remains stationary for the duration. Spell ends if you leave its area.
And it
I feel
lasts
like
for
it
8
would
hours.
spring
long
into
enough for a long rest.
existence, including the water around us.
I mean, the only reason I'm thinking it works is because it says inside is comfortable and dry, not wet and.
True?
It does
Oh.
say
Wet and
inside is comfortable and dry. You know
That's all I
what?
got to go on.
All
That's
right,
why
all
I
right,
came
all
in
right.
the-
Listen, we're gonna break your spell a little bit, tiny hut. Your tiny hut is no longer comfortable and dry. It's wet and damp. All right, and cold.
But is it at least breathable and
your
not
fire's
full of
out,
water?
and it's still breathable, but all your sushi's ruined that you had on the table, and your
I'm
charcuterie
not
board is
surprised it's
messed up.
damp in there. Let's be honest. It was a space that was underwater not
And
a
there's
moment ago.
several dwarves that have stolen everything in your kitchen. But other than that, it's pretty cool in there.
Cozy.
I'm a little worried if it's not like full of water in there, then GMW is just gonna smoke it up in there and try and make everything.
yeah, there's nothing that can stop GMW from smoking
Oh,
also
no!
because he can breathe.
Oh, we're gonna get
Oh, yeah.
baked, guys.
Well,
GMW
it's not weed, so you don't have to worry about it.
Phelan will stand beside and get him to smoke inside his bag of holding.
Even though
I
exhale
guess
in
he can
here.
stick his head outside of the barrier and exhale every time he does it. He'd phase his face and get all wet, but he could do it.
I feel like there'd be some logistical problems. Exhaling
Smoky
water.
bubbles just rise up above.
Yeah.
Fantastic session 1 to all. I did enjoy
Yep.
the antics and some of the hilarious solutions and thoughtful solutions
Yep.
as well too.
That was some interesting creative problem solving we had to do for sure.
Some of the predicaments in front of you, and hopefully you guys enjoyed some of the RP and dice rolling. I think next session might be a little bit more of a into the fire situation as you guys start making some direction towards either Sharn or like you said, Zantash Zendrick, which is more close and probably a better hideout for some